good. Just so that we get it out of the way.
Yeah, good preface.
Yeah. But from where we left off, we have been in the Doom space or the Shard space for a long time. That kind of edge of the Nyx, where these cold, kind of more desolate fragments and of the world have floated to, and that is where you all went on a journey to find the Murder King. You kind of pseudo took a job for Erebos under the guise of, the Scorpion telling you to kill the Murder King, but then you also the Scorpion was also sharing that, there might be a way for, she's not really happy with the way the Erebos is moving, in terms of trying to expand his territory across the stars, not really sticking with the underworld now that Heliod is dead, and ask you all about bringing Heliod back, which the Bronze Bullies were like unanimous no. And then instead of going directly to kill Murder King, we decided to go after the pieces of them, which that's not what they asked you for, to go after that God Killer, because it doesn't necessarily seem like Scorpion was necessarily knew much about that, but that's kind of the mighty servant, and that goes back to the story about Persis in those early days, basically the Archon stones that run these machines, how Afara came to Perforos and had him make these machines that could help Afara's civilians and people within the city, constructors, build cities in like record time and things like that. And then when Ifara got all the praise for the mighty servant, Perforos got jealous and threw him into the void and said, fuck these things. Like, you can't, if you don't give me the praise, nobody gets these. And so now you all have reconstructed one of them. You all have met Perforos, or what the remnants of his, his head is kind of floating around in the Nyx like Unicron. And you all have just defeated the Murder King. You now have both of his weapons as well as the multiple pieces that make up the mighty servant, which of course is kind of like this, you guys all call it a Gundam, or this 10-foot tall machine when it's all put together, but in its separate pieces. I believe that Moby has the legs or the greaves. Persis had been running the gauntlets, and then no one really had a chance to really use the breastplate and the helmet, which are essentially one unit or one piece. I'll get more into what those things do in a minute, but that's kind of where we're at. And anybody want to add to that? Big things that are happening in the world. We know that our red dragon is up to something right there. You guys have also been having strange dreams. The last dream talked about Thraxes kind of becoming like the new sun in the solar system, or in the Nyx. That Erebos is moving recklessly. That the Eye of Doom is essentially eating all of Theros very slowly, and that the god beyond that space, on the other side, in that other world, is Phoenix in his ultimate form from the world he came from long ago. So those are some of the things. Yeah.
Jumping in, some of the stuff that's happened recently has been pretty overwhelming, and we got all the pieces for the mighty servant and felled the Murder King, and we were right at that point where all the pieces came together and formed the mighty servant in front of us.
Yes.
And our ship was this. I forgot the exact condition of our ship, but Astral Dreadnought did basically eat it.
It's still in one piece. It's taken. Let me go find my dad. It's taken some damage, but it's still. With how fast you all heal it, within a week it'll be back tip-top shape. With the casting of men and having your workers, your people work on the ship. Right now, there's only 4 of your Acroins hoplites alive, including.
Said it.
What's that?
I heard that S. You almost said
it. yeah. There's 4 of them, and that's not including Bartholomew. Whose Nick is running. You still have Barraclan on the ship. So yeah, some heroes, you know, this ragtag group that is floating through the stars on their odyssey, you know, on their very much Spelljammers meets Jason and the Argonauts journey.
This is our first like real downtime since like the first time we actually have time to like sit and process since we lost Proximals.
Yeah.
And really, and Apo, because
Yeah.
both of that happened in the last since we were running around
Yes.
from this cat. So the Murder King and try not to get eaten by multiple
Yeah.
threats for some reason that were trying to eat us. We just got into eat you space.
Because remember I described this part of space as essentially like, you know, the astral, it's like the astral, you know, plane, and combined with the Nyx and just the raw energy, it's essentially like the ocean. So there's a lot of like bigger things than you, and all of them are trying to eat each other. Out here you're in the deep, you're in the deepest part of the void.
Are
here.
we over by the fishing marker?
If we're looking on Legend Keeper,
I am not. I was.
actually I can share. We are.
Fishing marker is everywhere.
The ocean is one big fishing marker.
You all are actually. Nope, this is the wrong. Hold on, let me update it. Interesting.
Because we are in the shard space, and I think we're deep in, right?
So you're. This is where the shard space is. Up over here, you all are now beginning to travel away from it. Now that you've accomplished your mission and have everything, you've got these other spots, constellations, things in the galaxy that you don't know what they are, but you also have what you do know is what you had learned, that there are these kind of like these white dwarfs from what the Scorpion talked about, and there are 3 of them, and she did like let on that they are remnants of like whatever's left over of Heliod. They are the only bit of like light sources, kind of like burned out stars that are emitting light through the galaxy or through the Nyx right now. You've got Sogos, which is that little place you were all banned from. Over here is of course the Veil. Over here is Logano, which is essentially Melitus. This is where Sophia got her little information that there might be a possible location where one of the Athreos coins is. And then you have Mount Nykthos, where you killed Heliod, is still there floating that is an actual place. And in the middle of the map, you guys can see that. Nykthos, here is the location of the Athreos coin, Melitus, the Void, or the Eye of Doom. These are all the locations that you can see right now. Now, if you're, for example, you don't see the Underworld on there, typically at this point, with Persis getting more and more attuned with the ship, she's getting to a point where she can kind of think about a place, and it may take a while to get there, may have to even make some checks, could still get lost, but the ship will eventually, the harder she concentrates, will like go in that general direction. Even without knowing where it is, which is, Spelljammer, Hocus Pocus. Any other? Does that all seem? I seem like I'm. Anything else we should add?
I think those are like the major plot points. Gosh, I thought so much had happened, but it really has just been a few episodes.
I mean, we fought Strahd, all that stuff. There's a lot of things that happen in there, but like there's a lot of like little smaller like adventures within the bigger grand scope that we've definitely been on. Kai is still growing rapidly. It's gotten a little bit bigger and it's becoming kind of trained.
Focusing on like the galaxy ending threats right now.
That's
deal
right.
with the everyday problems.
Those are the kind of things that I'm
destroying.
talking about.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did in Sogos. We picked up some items that are good. Well, we didn't pick up some items. Some of us picked up some
some of you
items.
do have those items.
It's picked up a weird platinum statue.
I have that like statue of a dragon person.
Of a god
Yeah, she picked up the statue of the
That
500
talked to
dragon
you?
person, right?
that talked to you.
If I flip far enough back, I'm sure it talked to me.
And I think
Oh no, it did.
And
Yeah.
I think it was the dragon gives you some kind of allows you to draw like some fate.
Yep.
I think the dragon you said gives her the wish spell.
I think she said we give you. I thought it was like a deck of many things.
It says
It's a
identify.
it's a-
Okay, I found
It's a
it.
small version of the deck of many things.
Yeah, and
I
then Fitz
think
I
said
mean, it
seven,
could
right?
be
Seven?
anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I
the
could-
other head was also talking to Fitz, like, hey, pick me instead.
That was the 5-headed
Which was-
dragon head. Was
yeah.
talking to Fitz.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back and pick that one up on our way.
Like, fuck it, we're already this far
We
in.
need
might
all
as well.
of them. We need all
It
the
also
gods.
says I can
Uh.
use commune 4 times.
Yes,
That's
I
a power.
believe.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys
Yeah.
have no lack of magical, extremely powerful treasures at this point. I think it's kind of like in the video game where you have all the stuff you could go straight to the boss, which is like, let's go over here and let's pick up a couple more things.
Let's complete this. Let's 100% this game.
You never
But
know.
Mal,
This lesser healing potion could come in handy.
I have 99 elixirs, and I think I need one more.
Got a round. You always have a round. I'm like that too. Whenever I used to play video games and I like about to go to, I always have to have all my potions at a round number. I can't have like 18 or 17. I like it needs to be like 20. So I'll make sure I go
Not to
5.
say, I've been carrying around this literal god weapon for like 10 levels now. I think I'm good.
I think the thing that we kind of came to on our planning meeting, just to keep you in the loop, Josh, is that we are aware that Thraxes is a threat and that he's floating around there somewhere. But he kind of feels like the end game. Like the game started with him, so it kind of feels like that would be a cool climax as end there. But we kind of think he might attack at any time. So we're like mentally prepared for that. We kind of want to go to the underworld to save Zen and potentially Proxenos, because he
Don't know what the
disappeared in
fuck
that mirror.
Proxenos is on about. Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know. He went into a mirror in Strahd's castle and hasn't been heard from since. And then so it's go to the underworld, then go to the Eye of Doom ? And then somewhere along the way potentially run into Thraxes and or let that be the end.
Okay.
That was our planning
That
meeting.
makes sense.
Did I summarize that well, you guys?
I think
so.
that was pretty well.
That was pretty dead
summarized.
on. I mean,
Okay.
And I think that you did learn a little bit about what Thraxes was up to. It's been a while since we talked about it, but this was when Lady, I'm forgetting her name, but who runs the Ark in Melitus, she was doing her research, and through the Ark they were kind of like uncovering through like the information on it what it was used for and how that vessel was used by Agamemnon, I can never pronounce his name, but the original king of the Archons, who came and was a tyrant during the early days. It was when the people cried out to the gods and they had to fight the Archons, and the Archons had released the Titans. So essentially it seems like, of course, Thraxes is working under the tutelage of the Eye of Doom, or at least what she's saying, or at least working with, but it appears that he is, from what Thraxes said to you specifically, was that when he was taunting you all, is that he was going to ascend and become a god. He was going to create a new pantheon, essentially, or be part of the new pantheon. But she mentions that he was headed to, what do I want to call it? It was not the underworld. There is a place under the underworld. There's a portal to it in the underworld, but it is where the Titans are held, and that is where his business. Yeah. Yes. The Tartarix, or was it the very last bottom level is where he was originally headed, because who runs that and who controls that space is not Erebos. Actually, it's actually almost a separate dimension. It's just you get to it through the same space as getting through the underworld, but is run by the god of fate and destiny, who is Clothis. And so that is the information that you do have on the whereabouts, or the last whereabouts of him. Okay, yeah, I think that's enough to get started. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, grab a water, and then we can do this thing.
All right.
Mal's gonna come back, roll a die, in the middle of RPing, here comes a fucking dragon.
And here's Thraxes.
Ready? Let's go. Who needs a long
No, you don't get to process these deaths. You don't. Not yet.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
My therapy is
Unpacking
violence.
trauma? What?
When I feel sad, I stab things. This is how it works.
How well has that been working out for you so far?
I mean, I'm still here, and I haven't murdered anyone I wasn't supposed to yet.
That you know of. Eh.
Yeah, you're still inexplicably alive, so
Yeah.
something must be going right.
Yes.
One way of looking
This
at
is
it.
my destiny.
Bart's just gonna be in the back, just taking a drink, taking a load off.
He deserves it.
On a stool, feet up on the side of the railing, just this is the life. Even though there's only 4 Acreoans around us, going like, you guys are dropping like flies. I'm not gonna have much fucking like home people left. It's just gonna be me.
Oh god.
Or the last one.
Ah.
All right. All right. We will begin tonight's session. And so, it all began with 3 masks from the underworld. These masks, with intricate engravings, ignited a yearning in the god of deception to rediscover his original purpose. And I, Krufix, made a grave mistake in underestimating Phoenix. He willingly sacrificed himself to return to his source, his true form, beyond the Nyx. And the lands of Theros now bear the scars of this upheaval. Faith wavers amongst people as their gods fade from the heavens, and ferocious monsters move unchecked. As chaos unfolds the red dragon's eyes in unclaimed throne of light and fire, while Erebos' arrogance drives him to expand his dominion of darkness across the Nyx. My intervention, silencing the gods, has curbed their influence over mortals and slows the Eye of Doom's relentless consumption of hope across the Nyx. And though my siblings grow frustrated with their diminished power, they fail to perceive the bigger picture. This momentary setback has allowed new champions to emerge, fueled by their own determination. This transitional phase empowers the people and their chosen champions to shape the future of Theros. And whether in the realms of land and sky, or amidst broken fragments among the stars, her mountains high, her plains stretching, her forests covering, her oceans deep and her swamps misty, Theros endures. The people and their champions will determine the rulers of the skies, the earth, and the underworld, just as they have done since the dawn of our existence, when we gods were nothing more than a dream in the hearts and minds of man. And so, with that, as Krufix speaks to himself, we kind of pan across the kind of paint-like swathing of the nebula and of the sky and of the stars, full of gas and light and darkness, and kind of push in on that. What looks like a little ship to y'all is very grand. This little ship floating in the void, a bit tattered, a bit broken, some holes, some. You can definitely see it's had better days. But you can, as we get closer, you can hear the cock, 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 the working and the hammering of nails. And we see that those few Acroians are doing their part to get the ship tip-top, as those of you who have the mending spell are also casting. It's been just 24 hours since you stood over the lifeless, what remains of the Murder King, and the taken, not only, I think one of you took his mask, his weapons, and then you watched in awe as the mighty servant put itself together. And normally, all of these things, the mighty servant would have a time of attunement, but having Perforos in front of you, because remember, Perforos arrived and started to use the bit of energy that he had to use his eyes to blast the Murder King ships out of the sky. And so he was able to tell you about what he had created and how it worked. And so you were able to use those hours, maybe 2 to 3 hours, those of you who chose to attune to this new, it feels like part vehicle, part creature, part treasure, part weapon. And so Persis is already attuned, Moby is already tuned to one part of it. Who do you all think in that moment, flashing back, that you chose to be the third of you to be able to attune to the mighty servant, at least for now?
I would vote for Sophia.
Yes, I second that vote.
Okay. And so what you notice about this, this is going to be really funny, because I'm thinking about Sophia and the way she fits inside of this thing is, I have to figure this out in my in my imagination. But there are three compartments, 3 cockpits. The servant, of course, looks like this thing that you see here. It is disproportionate in a humanoid form. Almost looks like it could be a pot-bellied person with no head. Doesn't seem like it has slits or a way to see in or out of it. Its frame bears very few scratches, but this immaculate metal that is that almost seems impenetrable, with fine ornamentations and craftsmanship. But as Perforos was able to tell you and how to work it, these 2 openings over the shoulders and one right over the top where you would call the back, steam comes out and they lift up and open, and what you end up seeing is, when it looks something like this, one flap on the back, Sophia on the back slot, you're able to kind of you're literally with these standing up, your hooves down, 2 hooves up, and then your body up and kind of crammed against the ceiling, and you're almost in the position of a gunner from the rear. But what's weird is when those flaps go down, it magically creates you can kind of see this holographic view. It almost opens up and you can see outside. You can see everything outside, in front, and around you. I have went through today and given all of you, I went through and added as as extras in your extra section on all of your characters, because I know who is going to be attuned, but you have access to the hammerhead, as well as you also have access to the stats now of the mighty servant. So you can check those out if need be. But so now, but what I'll also add is there was some other information about it. So only 3 can attune to it at a time. Animate construct, piloted, crafted of a gleaming black alloy, unknown in origin. It's come like an oversized beetle, kind of cramped inside. You spent a lot of that time as Perforos walked you through, like dealing with the controls, because they're very foreign to you in all aspects, because it is like learning to control something new. Now, once you all 3 are attuned, you can use, it's a free action to open and close the hatch. I'll put these in the chat. But if you were like in combat, you don't have to, just like you're moving, you don't have to use an action to move it. So if on all of your turns, if you're in the servant, you can still use your turn to move and make an action, meaning the servant can move at least 3 times and can take an action 3 times because you're using your action to do something with it. As you can see, its action, it has those fist actions, and it also has that jump. So as an action, you could command the servant to take one of the actions on the stat block. And then it has like this crushing leap. It has that overpowered fist. And essentially what it is it's like immune to almost everything and resistant to bludgeoning and piercing and slashing. So it kind of has to just be beat to death. And that's why it's powerful enough to take a beating and journey through the void, or to maybe even be that frontline assault against a god or against Thraxes without you all being hurt. Now here's the one kicker. It cannot be repaired. It doesn't mend. It's not going to be something like your ship that you can constantly work on because of its craftsmanship. It kind of takes a beating over time. Now, I won't say that. What I mean by it is, I think it's meant to take a beating and be repaired. But let's say if you were to go through fighting like a god and survive, there will be catastrophic damage to it most likely in those situations, or traveling through the void. Perforos has basically said don't count on having it after that, unless you do, unless you don't get touched. So what but he's just setting those in terms. It would be difficult. Other than that, I'll end there so I don't kind of keep yammering on about that. And then I'll decide, we'll bring up the Murder King's weapon as we figure out who maybe even is even interested or who even took it. But before I turn it over to you all, I will say one other thing is just kind of setting, I think, where you are all now. I imagine, some of you have been probably attuning to that Mighty Servant, learning more about it over the last 24 hours. But like I said, it's been a day, and you're sailing across the stars. You feel determined in your course. Let's pick up, let's explore what they're all feeling right now, what this is their downtime and what they're doing and what their plans are. We kind of talked about it as players, but as characters and in character. We figure out where the bullies go from here. And we can even start with where are they on trajectory to right now, Persis? And if you don't know, ask the party. But we'll start there.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think without even having discussed things with the rest, we'd be heading in the direction of the Eye of Doom, but everything is in that direction from where we are.
Yeah, makes sense. So it's like a general. It's like, let's set course. We'll talk about if we need to get off on the freeway, but we just need to go. Go that way. And each day, remember, is 100 million miles a day that this ship is traveling. Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
And yeah, I guess because you said the aiming, we don't know which direction, if it can even be said to be a direction that the underworld is.
Yeah, you know the direction of the Eye of Doom, so that's no problem. If you start to set course on the underworld, what it is, it takes Persis like kind of getting into a meditation and really focusing the ship and trying to have the ship tell you where to go. It's a lot of like feeling, and so there might be some checks involved in that, but you should eventually orient yourself.
Yeah. So, said what I said. We're on the way towards the Eye of Doom, but probably want to, once people have recovered from the fight, check up with everyone and see what the goal is.
Anyone can. Oh, it's when Bear Clan is kind of sitting looking off. He's just finished like a shift, and he's just sitting like on a barrel looking out. Kind of looks up, and Moby's like, kind of on the crow's, what do you call it? The crow's nest, kind of taking in a strange kind of breeze from the Nyx. Bear Clan just looks over to one of the Acroians at an earshot where even if you could hear, and it's like, oh, it's kind of nice when you're not almost being eaten by giant space crab worms, huh? And then they're just having a chat.
It's always important to journal after big traumatic experiences, and Fitz just has the quill of Afara doodling on the ship.
Nice. If the camera was kind of moving and we move past Fitz, who would we pick up with? Yeah, imagine it's kind of like moving from person to person around the ship.
So Sophia would be casting Mend along with helping everyone repair the ship as possible, but she'd have a concerned look on her face, and occasionally when someone would catch her eye, she would try to uplift them by just give them a smile, and she keeps an eye on everyone. She's kind of slowly becoming a mother hen, making sure that everyone's okay, attempting to at least. And she's just making sure that everyone's okay and the ship is up and running for now.
Are you all wearing your pieces of the Mighty Servant? So are you in Voltron separation mode, or do you have it together sitting below this, like in the lower? Imagine like the cargo hold of the ship, kind of swinging on change. What it does when it folds, it it doesn't turn into a ball, but it kind of rolls up into like a roly poly, and like tucks its arms in tight, and it can be lowered down and kind of stored if you're keeping it. But it depends on how are you all. Or are you all wearing your pieces and it's separate right now?
I didn't know that was a possibility. So yeah.
It is a possibility. Yeah. So now it is now. If you,
Well, it depends. Do we want like, who has
we do have a klepto dragon on the ship too, so maybe.
It takes.
Where we store it?
It doesn't take an action to jump inside of it when you're. So if it's out and about and it's already assembled, it takes 10 feet of movement to climb inside of it, right? But when it's on your person, it takes an action to activate it. It's literally your Sailor Moon moment. It takes that 6 seconds.
I was gonna say, do we gotta like find this shit?
You all tell me, but yeah, it takes that 6 seconds to make it all come together and that.
Think about your transformation animation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
what are your hand? You gotta get your hand movements together when you do it. Like,
yeah,
this is gonna be very DBZ
Jiu-jitsu.
real quick for me.
Everybody's clothes rip off.
yeah.
They turn to stars. Your silhouette in the Nyx.
I would say at the same time as Sophia is mending parts of the ship, you would see Bartholomew kind of come in and almost like going from one side to the other. He was working on the other parts of the ship, and eventually kind of meet up with I can handle the rest of the section here.
You sure it's not a problem? I don't mind it too much.
It's fine. I can take care of this. It's helps take the mind off too.
I understand that. She'll pat him on the shoulder, give him a nod, and start making her way towards members of the party.
I think Taroxys is off the ship doing loops within the field. So flying around the ship for exercising the wings, but staying within whatever gravity field it generates.
Makes sense.
I think also Persis, seeing that Fitz is drawing on the ship, will approach with a kind of sour look of disapproval. So
I misinterpret your look as if you're upset that you just don't have something to draw with. What do you want to try?
no, thank you. I was thinking more of that whole combat must have been a traumatic experience for Kai. How's she holding up?
I mean, she kind of buried herself in my dirty laundry and hasn't really come out. So, probably not so great. Just am not great with this whole dragon parent thing. I'm just a goat person. I kind of thought like the power of friendship would just bond us forever, because I told her those great stories while she was an egg, and it's just not as easy as I thought it would be.
Family is a struggle, but I have confidence in you. You can, why don't you maybe go down there now and see what you can do? Try to forge a connection.
I'm kind of scared, Versus. I'm kind of scared about running into, Thraxes, and what if she likes him better than all of us? Then I've
I'm
made all
concerned
of our
about that,
problems
too.
worse. And you look and you see her doodle is just a tiny little dragon,
Oh.
and there's flames everywhere. And that's what she's been doodling, is just flames destroying everything. Just kind of worried.
I think your worries do you credit, though. It would have been much worse not to try to bring her to our side.
I mean, it didn't really seem like he wanted her at all. She was locked in a chest.
It's
But I mean,
not a relationship I understand.
what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to tell her that and be like, hey, guess what? Your dad's a jerkwad. But I feel like that might not be very convincing. She doesn't know him. Or does she? I don't know.
And I don't think it wouldn't necessarily make her feel better about you. It might just make her
Yeah.
feel worse in general.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know what to do.
be there for her.
Just sit next to her burrowed in my laundry.
Maybe not all the time, but
Mm.
sometimes.
And then you hear, no, Kai, no, dragon loose. And from under the belly, one of the Acarines is like jumping back, and you see Kai just kind of fly out and leap and like headbutt him, and he falls back and leaps on top of him and licks his face, and then takes off the side of the ship and starts to chase Taroxys around, like wherever Taroxys is diving, Kai's going after him, like keeping up.
Oh. That looks like she's having fun.
and she's been known to kind of like try to roughhouse, which can't hurt really, but roughhouse with Taroxys and like slam him because he doesn't have, he's immune to fire. She would even like kind of give him flames and stuff, and he's good to go. So you see them kind of, unless you're responding differently, Taroxys kind of see you up there dealing with that.
Bartholomew is dropping everything he's doing and running over because that's usually he's looking after Kai.
Yep. There's somebody with a big bucket mocking the deck. She strafes by the top of the crow's nest, knocks Moby off. He loses his balance and falls, plumbing, splashes into the big bucket of water, sopping, gets out. And the Akron soldier's looking like that water, not using that water anymore, as you can see like the boils and stuff on Moby's skin.
Yeah. Oops, I'm
Not
really tired
again.
now.
So yeah, and this kind of moment continues.
Persis will also remark, that's not a relationship I would have anticipated. It's a good look on him, though.
Yeah, unlikely friends. Kind of like all of us. We're an odd bunch, I think. But I like us. I'm glad we met, Persis.
Me too.
How are you doing?
I'm concerned with keeping us all alive and
Gosh, right?
keeping this ship in one piece. I have the feeling that we're going to get wherever we need to be and the ship will just break apart.
I mean, we've done a good job of patching it up so far. Maybe
We've had
one
to
day
do a
we could
lot
even
of
upgrade.
Maybe so.
I wish it got better after a nap like we did, because that's just a bummer.
Yeah, some things take work.
Seems to be the theme of our conversation.
But usually they're worth it.
Yeah. Thanks.
You know I'm going to have to clean up your drawings eventually, right?
You can't. I use this really cool quill, and they're kind of perfect. I think that's when she like dances away from you. It does come off with salt water, but she won't tell you that.
Yeah, where are we gonna find that out in space?
But normally on a boat, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
That's the irony of it. I love it.
As Fitz dances off, Persis would hear from behind her, Sophia go, "It's not your job to keep them alive, that's mine. You're supposed to just make sure the boat stays afloat."
Boat's not much use without people on it. But, yes.
And we keep losing them with every fight, so I'm concerned about the rest of them. Maybe it might be best to make port somewhere and have them live their lives there.
It might be better. I don't know. It's hard to know what sacrifices are worth it. I know you don't want anyone to die.
I'm more comfortable with it now that things are somewhat in order, but just looking at the 4 Acroians there, they're not as... They're skilled warriors. But they can't fight what we do. I know they're hard, is in the right place. They're brave. Most Acheroians are. But someone with enough intelligence needs to tell them, we're going to the underworld. We're fighting a dragon that wants to become a god. On top of all of that, we're fighting one of the first gods. I'm not sure what Phoenix really is, but even this sacrifice is foolish. If it is their last moments, they deserve to live them. Friends, family, getting drunk, spending nights with others. Anything and everything away from the conflict that we sail towards. If I'm being honest, Captain, it started with the bullies, should end with just the bullies.
I don't think the Acroans will like this, but it might be what's best for them.
If I've
We're
learned
still-
one thing from the bullies, they don't care what others think.
And Telmoon, at least, won't be happy about having the ship with less crew.
I still have a conversation with him that I have been putting off long enough.
Right. Well, I suppose then I'll need to set a different course, find somewhere to leave them.
I'll leave that to you. I'm not too sure what's out there now.
I'll have to consider it. But
But whatever you decide, I support. Just figure I'd give you my thoughts on things. And Sophia will start walking off, but before she walks completely off, she'll yell back at Persis, don't go far or be too busy later. I have a gift for quite a few of you. And she'll
hard to
walk
go
off the
far.
No one knows what your captain quarters looks like. And Sophia will go off to find the dancing satyr Talboon.
For once, Telmoon isn't too far away. He's actually been sitting under the. Damn it! Now Taraxis is here. Now I got no boat words. Mainmast, whatever the thing is, whatever. Yeah, sitting under that, just being useless. He's not gonna help. But instead of dancing right now, you see him actually flipping through the book and sketching. And if he doesn't see anyone approaching, you see that he's in the back of the book sketching some things. But if he's where people he thinks are going to see him, normally you'll see him in the front of the book where he's doing schematics of he wants to do a little mini forge. He's thinking about improving the spear that him and Taraxis made earlier. But I'm assuming the higher perception people, probably Sophia included, would notice that in the back of the book, it tends to be just more freehand drawing. And he's got some weird things. You know, you see a couple satyrs dancing under the moonlight. You see just a random human just sleeping. It's just like, what the heck is that? You know, you see you just see images that are just mostly Telmoon trying to process the adventures that we've been on so far, but he tries to keep those mostly hidden. But I'm sure Sophia still has caught glimpses.
Would you say the drawings in the back are more or drawn better than the sketches in the front of the book? Like more heartfelt into it?
Yeah, I would say the drawings in the front are more mechanical, right?
Okay, yeah.
So where the drawings in the you see that there's some expression in the drawings in the back.
Well,
Not the greatest.
you would fucking hear her walk up. She's
Yeah,
got
so maybe
hooves.
stealth. You're not stealthy, but so Telmoon's gonna flip to the front. Telmoon's passive perception is a 9, so maybe he doesn't hear Sophia walk up. But hey,
Cool. All right.
but yeah, so he notices you. He's definitely gonna flip back to the front of the book and continue drawing out some weapons. This has been useful. Thank you.
I see that you've actually taken my advice.
Moby says I'm in the way when I'm dancing.
It's the only form of entertainment we have besides fighting, so...
But I also slipped on one of his pus puddles one time and decided,
Yes, I
better
tried to avoid those.
better off staying over here.
Is there any piece that you have constructed that you look forward to creating?
I mean, just getting back to a forge. I don't know when the last time we've actually been able to create anything, but right now we need weapons, right? We have big things in front of us. A god to kill. A few gods to kill possible.
Dragon. 2 gods to kill. 1 to bring back. My brother, your friend. Proxinos. A lot to do on the to-do list for the bullies. Seems like it's never ending.
So if I get access to a forge, first comes work.
I must ask one question though, Telmoon. Do you fancy yourself a blacksmith? Like, could you see your life in a forge day in and day out? Or perhaps a painter? A sculptor? There are many forms of creating things. Your dance, for example. The routine had to come from somewhere. You'd be an entertainer of some type. You have many pathways in front of you. You're not held to just being what potentially the god you worship is. THEROS has made many things. Many people have created things in his name that aren't weapons. Just food for thought.
One day, maybe.
If you wish my advice, I would say sculptor, painter. The drawings in the back are more soulful. You and she'll look out, seeing Troxy still doing laps, I'm assuming, okay? If you could do me a favor, can you rein that one in? I have a gift for you. Predominantly you, but I know you both worship THEROS. So it's a gift for both.
Telmoon hears his blade speak to him and say, "The centaur has a point."
Assuming this is illumination, since okay. Yes. But now, are we not still needed as a weapon? Isn't that your purpose?
It is. Boy, are you? Make sure you're. Remember, they can't hear me. Sophia may think you're talking to her, but that's why a fine sword, like myself, always has a purpose, because there will always be time for battle. Sometimes I am a good ornament above a fireplace. Quite an exquisite piece of art. I sat around for a long time waiting for you to pick me up. Well, actually, not Illumination, but the other play. Would have said Cacophony would have said that. Yeah, not Illumination. And so, like she says, what I agree is that you can be both. You don't always have to lead into. My only purpose isn't to kill things.
You kill things and you sit in caves for decades?
I kill things. I provide good advice when I'm listened to. Been quite quiet for a while because you were having a... We won't go there, but you were being you. But I'm coming around.
Yeah, and most likely Telmoon has not given thought to what the other bullies think of him, because he for sure has just been having verbal conversations with these two swords on random occasions. Not very often. When they talk to him, he talks back. It's something to think over.
Have you given thought to what that... Well, what Cacophony's... Actually, Cacophony would speak up. Have you given thought to my previous wielder's... what he told you, the ghost of Pifferon?
You know what? You would think that I would actually
I'm throwing that on you. Yeah, that's not right. That's take your time. You can ignore it for now. Or
I'm sure that's in
I don't want to throw a
email
wrench.
that I definitely read.
Yeah, well, I'll give it to you in the chat right now.
Appreciate it. I remember sending that to you at some point.
It was when you cast.
Yeah, I definitely remember the conversation.
Yeah, the conversation. Yeah.
It's just been a minute.
I'll send it over to you. But you can roleplay around it.
Things have been a little busy, but I still, if there's a purpose for me wielding these blades, I definitely would like to find it. Seems like, unless you guys were just built to be friends, be brothers, whatever the heck you guys are.
Definitely not denying our purpose to... we will have our time, and we do believe you need us for now. I think Sophie is just thinking about your long time. There may come a time when you may want to sheathe us and put us away for a while. And just letting you know, I'll be fine with that.
That time comes, I'm sure. I'm sure that I don't know why I said Prox knows because my boy's over there. I'm sure Taroxys and I will have a lot of soul searching to do. And maybe after taking a break, we can go back and I'm not sure where to find the gods anymore. But once we save the universe, I'm sure they'll come to us, right? Then we'll figure it out.
Fair enough.
And I would say Sophia actually knows
you
Sophia
talked to
was
them. Yeah.
there. No, see, Sophia was
Oh,
there
yes,
during the conversation that we had because she's the one who can't speak with dead. So she does know that of the fact that I'm supposed to get these blades blessed by probably Irois, since the other two are mostly dead. We'll see if once we bring Perforos back, if that's an option, or if we can bring Perforos back, if that's an option. There's also a destination we need to find, Mount Cure. And I have no idea where in the expanded Theros verse that might be.
Okay.
Having another thrilling conversation with your weapons.
They're not as thrilling as they think they might be, but apparently they think you might be speaking some sense.
Well, my staff doesn't talk to me, so
You should listen harder.
I think I have the best hearing out of everyone on this boat.
It's likely true.
Whatever they said, hopefully it's enlightening.
Just
Like I said-
reminding me of the laundry list of tasks that I have. But that maybe fighting isn't the only way to get all of those tasks checked off.
She'll kind of look around the boat. Tell Moon you're not alone. If you need something done, I'm very sure that everyone here will help you in any way they can.
I don't know if any of us know where now curious, but
No, I've not heard of the place, but we are very powerful. And we have taken on, we've literally killed the head of the gods, and we just destroyed a legendary creature of much renown who was working for another god. Our goal is to take out a dragon and another god. We kill a lot of gods, it seems, and if we can do that, I'm sure we can find a location you need to find.
maybe when this is done, you help me find the mountain, and maybe I'll help you find those coins you were looking for.
I've kind of put that to the side, honestly.
Yeah, long list. Gods to kill.
Well, besides that, before running into you all, it was my only hope of getting my brother back. And I didn't even know if it was possible. Eons have passed for these coins, and they've been myth and legend. But since traveling with the Bullies, there has been ways and hope refilled that the coins are a last resort. but a wish from a god could not hurt. So, yes, after this, I would greatly appreciate your company. You and Teroxes. Me and him have not had many conversations. I believe the only one we had is when me and you were talking and I thought he was a statue. That was about it.
Big guy just needed a little time to process. Meeting his dad. It's a little different when he talks to us directly instead of just through lighting bushes on fire.
Oh, you've had conversations with Orphos before everything.
But yeah, he used to send us on all sorts of missions. He even gave us that bird, which I'm sure is also flying around in this game of tag.
Holy shit, I forgot about
the-
that.
Taroxes
The
has
clockwork off.
just a crushed clockwork in Taroxes' pocket. It's like, I forgot about that thing. That thing.
It's just like one wing in it.
It's our Deus Ex Machina.
Oh man.
Oh,
I would love to hear those stories at some point. But in the meantime, if you could rein him in, I have to go find Fitz and make sure she's okay. Before I leave, I just want to ask, with everything that's going on, are you okay?
is this to Fitz now?
Okay.
Oh no, to Roxy. I mean to Tillman. Okay.
Yeah, okay is
I know.
subjective term. I think I'm headed towards a better path, and that's the best I can ask for at the moment.
She bows. You ever need anything, I won't be far. Then she'll go try and find Fitz.
Tell him to
On
cast
her-
invest the tear of flame on himself and jump off the ship and try to not die as he gets in the way of Kai and Taroxy's play fighting.
You just see Taroxys slam into the flaming satyr on his way down and do one more loop before somersaulting.
Nice. One of the Acheroians has kind of assumed the place of cook, and the other three have just taken a break to get, at this point, the time of days are always messed up, but what is probably dinner. And this bowl of gruel one of them gets, he's gonna slap it as he gets it and he looks at it. And, you know, Sophia, as you're kind of trotting by, you hear him say, "Oh, not this again. Boy, do I miss the boy." But, and then I'm sure you find Fitz wherever she is.
I was gonna try and help the fucking poor bastard, but
Oh,
I
you
got
could. I
nothing.
mean, you could. You could.
I got nothing to do it. I ain't got prestidigitation or nothing. I gotta go to sleep for Heroes Feast.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sure you've all kind of missed Proxinos' cooking, as the food is a little bland.
She'll give him a good old pat on the back with like a, I know. Yeah, she would. Sophia would just be roaming around the ship, mainly going to everyone's quarters down there and just kind of like yelling out for Fitz to see where she may be hiding.
Fitz is definitely in her room, and I think the doodling that's just what she's been doing, is like drawing fire all over the ship, and like the pillars by her door are just like flames coming up, and it's just like Fitz and Kai like, written on the door.
Definitely her room. Lady Fitz, are you there?
Who is it?
She'll just clomp.
Oh, yeah. Sophia, come on in.
She opens the door, goes in.
She's picking up the pile of laundry that Kai had been hiding under, and just it's scattered when she like flew out of the room, so she's just picking up little pieces.
Is the drawing continued inside the room?
100%. It is all fire, and it's like emanating from the little nest. I think it started out as like, look, this is your home. It's like a little fire land just for you. And then it just emanates from that corner all through the room.
Are you trying to convert your room into some type of volcano?
No, I just thought maybe for Kaya it would make her feel more at home. I don't think wood is her natural element.
Fair enough.
Hmm.
I come to check on you, to be honest. Are you doing
Oh.
okay?
You know, I am okay. I don't know. Just all kind of tangled up inside. I told Persis my problems. Like, that is so out of character for me.
Well, to be fair, you've had many people come and go unwillingly in your life, and
Yeah, I'm
I
kind of
was
sick
one
of
of
it.
them. I also came to apologize to you.
Why? I don't
After
think you did anything wrong.
after you used your gift that you got from the Phoenix on me, I made a promise that I very much well knew I couldn't keep, but I wanted to bolster your faith in me. And unfortunately, Apo had other plans, and I was too slow to prevent him from sacrificing himself.
It feels like it happened forever ago and yesterday all at the same time.
Yes, it goes over my mind many times, wondering how I couldn't see what he was doing. Maybe I was just blinded by the fact that we were in a god itself, but I would be lying if I told you anything else, but I hold myself responsible for his death in some way. I could have stopped him in many ways, but I didn't.
I don't think that's entirely fair, Sophia.
Well, I did make you a promise, and I failed to uphold it.
But, you know, promising to keep people around when they seem to be hell-bent on doing the opposite. You can't really put that on your shoulders. Apo made his choice. I just have to live with the fact that he would rather die than hang out with us a little longer. It's not very fun, is it?
I don't know, since I have joined your company, we have fought a phoenix, a god,
Oh yeah, you were there for that,
creatures
right?
from other planes,
Oh god, it's gotten so weird.
and the Murder King, which honestly has been someone I've never liked.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about Helliot too. So
I still don't like the Scorpion or trust her. I still want to kill her.
well, we've got a long to-do list we can add to it.
I just want to make sure you're okay. I know you've lost a lot, and losing friends or practically family is very hard.
Yeah, it is hard, and I don't know, I guess I'm just trying to focus on you guys are still here. And I spend all my time being sad. Who's gonna do the finger guns at everybody, you know? I've even contemplated just using the Wand of Smiles on myself to make sure that morale is high.
Wanda smiles.
Oh yeah, I have a wand, and it just makes you smile. It's the most hilarious, useless thing. I love it. I used to do it. Proxinos had this brother, and he was so grumpy all the time. And I loved using it on him because it just forced this big old grin on his big grumpy face.
It forces you to smile.
I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can see the appeal in that.
Yeah.
I don't want you
have
to.
Hmm?
Don't use the wand on yourself. If you need counseling, someone to talk to, or someone to scream at, I'm not far. I know about death very well since I was born. I know about letting go as well. The only reason I'm on this crusade for my brother is because THEROS told me that a god killed him, which means it wasn't his time. When gods interfere, they cut life short. And that does not sit well with me. Even someone that worships the god of passage. I know it sounds very hypocritical, but I believe that everyone should live their life until their thread is properly cut, not a second sooner.
Yeah. Well, you still want to save your brother, don't you?
More than anything, and traveling with you all has given me great hope in that. I was fortunate enough to. I was very fortunate enough to run into you in the Vale. I'm happy I did.
Me too.
Because I was. Speaking honestly, I was getting desperate. I thought I would. The coins were the only thing I could think of. Because I've heard legends, and as they are, they're just legends. There's no information else on them, so really, it's like finding a needle in a stack of needles. But running into you all, I've discovered there are multiple ways to bring someone back.
Oh yeah, sometimes you gotta get creative with it.
That's one thing us clerics aren't very good at. We're pretty stuck to the book, so to speak.
Well, maybe you should doodle in the margins more often, you know what I mean? I wiggle the quill.
I'll give it a shot every now and then. I will ask one more thing. How is Kai coming along?
I mean, I should probably talk to the dragon. I've just been a little nervous. Like, I'm kind of scared, not gonna lie. I know I put on a brave face for everybody because I feel like I'm the only one that likes that sweet dragon. But I'm kind of scared that maybe Draxis is gonna show up and she's just gonna be like, oh, I like him so much better than you guys. Bye. And then she'll hate us forever. And that's like my worst nightmare, you know?
I have an idea and a proposal.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
When you have this conversation with Kai, I think it should be on the top of the deck with everyone assembled. Supporting
intimidating.
Supporting your bolstering of she belongs here. They all could have some form of food, a gift. She likes to take things, looking over at her hoard.
There's just like a random sock, gold coins, a piece of wood.
They could in time make or give tribute to Kai.
Like a craft night.
Yes.
Oh my god, that could be so fun. You know, I mean, I don't know what Taroxys and Telmoon would need in order to do any like metal working, but I'm sure she could provide some heat.
I'm hoping my
And they
gift.
could craft too.
I'm hoping my gift to them solves that problem. But that was my idea. My proposal is, I have a gift for you, and in that time frame of the gift, I will look after Kai.
Oh, okay.
At least I will try to. She starts
Well-
flying, I can't catch her.
Yeah, no one can. She's rambunctious. I'll make sure that I give you a way to talk to her before whatever your gift is.
Here shortly, could you come to the deck? I have to present my gift there to everyone.
Oh, okay, you're being very ominous and cryptic, but I like it. Let's do it.
She will bow and exit the room and head up towards top of the deck.
She's so nice.
And so at the top of the deck is where most of everyone in this very kind of skeleton crew is assembled. People finishing up their meals. Most of the work for the day has been done. The ship's in pretty good working standard as it sails. And now it's that normal around the time where folks are starting, to sip from some of the wine bottles that are from grab a bottle from below deck. As Sophia kind of brings everyone together. See, Nick got kicked out for a second. We're getting it back in. Move this around.
A game is not complete without Nick getting kicked out.
This is my third time.
Oh no!
Man, Zoom just does not like you tonight.
But one day I'll get to the bottom of this.
And so they were having a conversation. So Nick, Sophia has kind of assembled everyone on the upper deck. I believe seems like everyone's kind of like waited bated breath, like it seems to be maybe a presentation or something.
Yeah, sure. I could do multiple people with technically.
Oh, I know. Who's this supposed to just be? Sorry.
I don't know what the Acronians who they
there?
worship.
Yeah, if they're just off in the show, they're just kind of eating. Then, if you didn't call them, then they would just kind of stay. I think up until this point, you know that all the Acronians are typically going to worship Haley and Iroas, but this group has literally been there with you in the presence of Perforos, and so they too now. I wouldn't say they are like full-blown Perforos, but they've definitely added Perforos to the list now, right? Of respectable gods who've kept them alive during this fight. Yeah.
We have Perforos Chapel on Sundays. And
Such a Texas thing to say.
Yeah. And when Taroxy says it's to happen, they attend. Everyone attends. So it's like,
You're going, right? Like,
yep, I'll be there. See you then.
Yeah, so anyone that's welcome to be there. Sophia would look at Telmoon first, and she did give your holy symbol back, and she'll ask, may I have it real quick? You'll get it right back. It may take some time, but you'll get it back.
Pass it over.
Now I'm going to take some artistic liberties here because the spell is not going to be able to be done the way it's written. But
Okay.
it's kind of the same.
Okay.
So, the first hour, you see her intense concentration. She puts your holy symbol into the center of her crook, where the shaft of the staff and the hook kind of meet. It's in the middle. She starts to do an incantation, and it starts to spin and glow, and it starts to look like as if you're heating up a bronze ingot. Starts to glow brighter and brighter and brighter. This spell does cost an hour of time, so after an hour, so anybody want to do something in an hour, they're more than welcome.
Yep, time goes
She
by.
is casting Temple of the Gods. Now, at the end of the hour, Emblem loses the glow, starts to slow in rotation, and a door, a bronze full metal door, apparates. She takes the holy symbol, hands it back to Telmoon. My gift awaits you. And looks at Taroxys. You as well. And then the Acheroines. And any of you that worship Perfros are welcomed through this door.
Starting to slowly come up, like people are like coming up to it. Ooh, grumbling, talking under the breath.
Open it whenever you're ready. Spell lasts a day. Then looking at
Roxy size door? Just a Telmoon size door? Just a...
Oh no, it's like think of a metal bronze door from like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's a huge door.
Yeah.
Roxy's buddy, you don't. Whenever you feel like opening that thing, let me know.
All
I
right.
don't know if I can-
We'll do this together. And so he pushes on one panel.
I will push and act like I'm helping.
You find it very easy to push open. When you enter, you see right in front of you a forge. A small, nothing too fantastic forge. With coals, bellows, anvil, hammers, everything you need to potentially make something small. Then there's two doors, one on the left and one on the right.
Print it all.
You cut out, sorry.
Do the doors look the same?
They're wooden. These are just normal doors.
I think you can handle those. Those are for you.
Yeah, Telmoon will go left.
Go to the left. You see chunks of marble, chisels, hammers, everything you need to make a statue. And there's a door on the other end of that.
Roxy's is preoccupied with the forge, and I guess I will explore door on the right as well.
So it's a circular motion of the doors since you went left. Same way if you went right, but so forge is primarily the front center. Then you got sculpting. Then you have pottery. Then you have tactile painting, so on and so forth. Things to create works of art, beauty, whatever you need to make something out of nothing.
Just try to get Telmoon to finger paints.
You can if you want.
How does Telmoon and Taroxys respond to this?
Pretty much immediately, Troxys turns Acro into the bellows. We've only got a day.
Oh! Gotta fall in line.
Just call me if you need me, brother.
I need you now. Open that book of yours. Pick something. We can get it done.
All right. I guess Zen Spear Part 2 is coming out.
While they do that, I will look at Fitz and Persis. Which one would you would like to be next? Again, it takes an hour, so you have time to kill.
Persis, do you want to go first?
I'm working on the ship's course. You should go ahead.
Persis, you're so serious all the time. Okay, I'll go. Sophia, I totally thought I had a way for you to talk to Kai, but it turns out just a way for her to understand me. Really sorry about that.
I'll try my best.
I'll do it anyway, and I'll cast universal speech, and I'll look at Kai, and it includes Sophia, but we speak the same language. Hey, Kai, I'm gonna go on an adventure. If you'd hang out with my friend Sophia, that'd be so great. And if you listened and behaved and did what she said, you could totally fly around if you want. But if she says, hey, come back, that means like, hey, come back, you know, like we practiced, okay? Love you so much. You're the best. Oh, chin squitches.
She kind of like nuzzles Fitz. Let me have the advantaged persuasion check from Fitz.
Oh, persuasion. Okay. Okay.
Screw that. She wins.
I got a natural 20 on my first roll.
So,
and I have a
So
plus
what, that's like
16.
40?
Yeah.
and so, like, literally, Kai is just kind of, you know, gives the kind of response that Fitz knows is typically when she's, you know, really responding well. And though she does do this thing that she's done from time to time where she kind of sniffs Sophia along like the belly, and Fitz know when she does that she's actually she thinks that Sophia like smelled like the horse part smells like meat.
Oh yeah, not for eating, no. But you know what? I pull out 2 gold coins, and I do like that magician sleight of hand thing with the coins, and I'm like, hey, look.
Oh, she
I'll
just
give you
immediately changes.
1 now, and 1 when I get back if you've been very good, okay?
Just reaching for it.
Flick 1.
Catches it, bites
Okay.
it, and like scatters off.
This other one's for when you get back. Okay, bye.
And by scatters, it's just huge, just dunk, dunk, dunk. Like every time this thing moves across the ship, you can hear it. Like you can hear it, just dunk, 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 like, you know,
Like-
all of.
Like a cat going up and down stairs is so
Yeah.
loud.
Yes.
And you're always like, how did that small creature make that loud noise?
It's just there's
But bigger.
massive claw marks in everything that she touches. You know, like you know.
Yeah. Okay. And I assume I did all that while Sophia is concentrating. on
Yeah. So an hour
whatever
goes
spell.
by.
Do you need something from me,
unless-
Sophia,
yeah.
to do
If
this?
you have a holy symbol, but if you don't have a holy symbol, I'm assuming the bow would work as well, since it's literally Nylea's.
And before she gives it to you, she's gonna be like, "Do I get it back? You're not
After
gonna
an
hurt
hour,
it, right?"
I gave Talmoon his holy symbol. I'm definitely going to give you your god's weapon back.
Thank God. Okay. I mean, never doubted you for a minute. Hand it over.
After the hour casting, a door that apparates adjacent to the bronze door. This one is a wooden door with ivy and vines overgrown onto it, intertwined between the planks.
It's like a secret garden.
Now, I must warn you, the god you follow does have domain over beasts, so I don't know what's behind the door, per se. Just be careful, whatever you may come across.
Well, I'm sure it'll be fun. Whatever. It'll disappear.
She hands you the bow, you enter, It's kind of like Narnia. So you open the door
Yeah.
and it's literally just straight forest.
Oh, wow.
Like
This
the
is
door
so-
is embedded in a tree.
Oh yes, yes.
And you walk out and you hear birds chirping, critters crawling up, down, everything. You're in the middle of a forest and all you hear is animal sounds.
She does like a little happy dance because she doesn't realize how much she missed that environment until she's back, like fully enveloped in it. And it's just like deep breath of that foresty smell. A little pitter patter. Then takes a huge breath in and just goes,
Does Fitz question, is this real? Does she know, is this a demi-plane? Is this, where is...
it is magic from Sophia. That's
Okay.
all she knows.
Mhm.
It's a present. But I'm in a wood. I'ma say Marco, see if I hear anything.
She says Marco. And let me have a insight check.
Oh, hold on. 16.
Okay. And so she says Marco, and it feels like a wondrous place where, like, if Nile was here, she would immediately respond. And as beautiful as it is, as wondrous and magical and fae-like, she doesn't hear any call. She doesn't hear any response. The wind still whips. It's still beautiful. The bugs still buzz. The birds still chirp.
I think she's just gonna wander into the woods a little bit. She's like, I must not be in hearing range. I'll keep trying. And she's just gonna like wander through like the thicket and see what she can find.
Can I have a nature check?
Ooh. Eight.
Okay.
Not my strong suit.
So she just continues, and so like almost like a shot of us, watching her just kind of like disappear into the green, and nothing. She's just exploring. It doesn't mean anything bad. It just means nothing eventful necessarily has happened other than her enjoying her time there. I'm enjoying this moment of Sophia kind of leading, kind of the DMing these planes. Is what else is happening?
Had a lot of time to think about this Iron Man. I've been wanting to do this since Sophia asked for his holy Telman's holy son.
Well, I know you've had. Yeah, I know you've been waiting. I've been waiting for you to do it for a long time. To be honest.
So after that hour, looks at the captain, Persis. I know you said you have to keep the ship afloat, but if you have anything of the god you worship, correct me if I'm wrong, it's Ifara?
Yes. And that was a little lie. I wanted Fitz to go first. She deserves some time off.
He just smiles and nods.
Yeah. And Persis just holds up a finger. I'll be right back. And goes and retrieves the statue of Ifara that I believe Fitz bought for her. And it was like
in the shop full of all the god deities.
It's where she got the Fizzband statue.
Yes.
Yeah.
From the floating island we're not allowed to go back to, I think.
Yes, so
yes.
Yeah, the shop called Temples.
good. Yes.
Temples are us.
That itself was
Z.
clearly not like a temple. It was like like a little. It was built on like the what do you call it? The rubble or ruins of a temple, and it was just this little shack kind of built there. Yeah.
Love it.
So yeah. So Persis brings you this statue of Ifara that's I think about 3 feet high. Was that around how big it was? It was not
It
like
seems
holy
about-
symbol
it
size. It
seems-
was a statue.
It was
It's
not
kind of a
pocket
big-
sized.
It wasn't quite pocket sized, but it fit. It was. I don't think it was
Or like
it was big
original
enough,
GI
but
Joe
it could
size.
fit in the. It could fit in the
Pocket
bag
for
of
food.
holding. It could
Yeah,
like
we
disappear.
probably just
in the...
shoved it in the bag of holding.
Okay.
I'm-
Respectfully shoved.
Yeah, and then once you got on the ship, you probably had it in your quarters. At this point, like
Yes.
sitting on the table somewhere.
Decor your room, guys.
Yeah. So yeah, Persis presents you the statue. Where you are?
That should work. She'll do the same thing. As far as colors, very much like Nylea's was green with the bow. It was an emerald. Perforos, very bright bronze ingot. Looks like it was being forged with Ufara. It is kind of like a dull candlelight, but you immediately get the smell of tactile leather, and after the hour of casting passes, the door itself just looks like a normal Meltis door that has a push on it with the ring itself. The ring's out on the door. You can just grab and push open. Just Sophia will look at Persis and go, "It took a little bit more than I thought out of me. Your gift, Captain. I want you to pass through this. Again, very much like Fitz, I don't know what's on the other side, but hopefully it connects you with Ifara closer. Or maybe bolsters your hope in her."
Thank you. I'm excited for this. And Persis pushes open the door.
Now, when you push open the door, it's actually two half doors. So it's opening in from the middle. When you push it open, a bright light comes over you, and you smell immediately of leather, tactile, wood, wax, and a small amount of burning. And you open the door, the dull light gets brighter and then quickly dims. The door behind you slowly shuts quietly with very little creaking. And you look before you, a bricked road, more or less. And on each side are bookshelves that you look up and you can't see the top. But every shelf has a scroll, a book. You go far enough in, you see tables with quills and ink. You go further in, it is more scrolls, books, ladders to get to certain shelves, different floors. It is the biggest library you could ever imagine. It looks very familiar. Very much looks like the grand libraries of Meltis.
Persis walks in and, very much like Fitz, on entering, closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. Like, I've missed this. I've missed the quiet. No. And she is actually, she's going to, are there writing utensils anywhere?
There is parchment and quills and inks.
She's going to find a convenient sheet and very carefully and very neat handwriting write out a notice of welcome to the Temple of Afara, rules for entry. Remove footwear on entering. Wash hands before handling the books. Keep voices to a reasonable volume. Great entries in there. And goes and places that in the entry. And like, thank you for visiting. Enjoy your day. I'm like, that's right. And then she goes and begins to explore the shelves.
How long can our champions be in these spaces? 24 hours?
24 hours. The spell lasts a day each.
And then
So
every day they need to you can recast it.
I have to recast it, yes.
So it takes an hour.
I am using a 7th, 8th, and 9th level spell to cast for everybody.
For everyone. And every time you do it, they'll have this space to go to.
Yep.
Okay. And
Now, if I do this shit for a year, it's permanent.
Okay.
Do we got a year to kill Mal?
No, can we fly for a year?
It starts today.
Oh, advance. It starts today. We'll see how much time advances, but we'll keep casting it every day.
And anyone that worships those 3 deities are more than welcome to enter those
those spaces.
doors. So I know that Acheroins went. I don't know if Bart or even Bear Clan would want to enter one of them.
You walk into the Perforos one, and there's a shift change sign on the blind. Who's working the bellows at this particular moment? Because Taroxys ain't stopping. Taroxys don't sleep.
It's awesome. Yeah. So Taroxys is creating something. Do you know what you make? You don't have to go into detail, but
That's all whatever Talmoon told him.
Talmoon told him.
Yeah. I mean, especially if we were thinking about going to save Zen, it would have been a second generation of the spear that we created for him the first time. It would just been some improvements, some minor improvements. The last time it was more, it was our first time. We weren't prepared, but Talmoon actually took some time to see design changes where he can change the edge bevel, see if we can get this a little sharper. Possibly set our boy off on the right direction if he rejoins the fight.
It's still collapsible, but one of the biggest new improvements is we've added a belt clip to it, so it actually clips to the belt now.
Nice.
Just a ring through the nose of the bull on the pommel. Actually.
So, as the group as each of you spend your time, I'm sure you like Sophia said, you'd invite other people into the spaceship. They respect your god, but this moment belongs to you and you alone, or to those of you like Talmoon and Taroxys who are in their spaces. And while you're there, Persis, there is a moment where does the library, actually I have to ask Sophia, does it have any windows?
So honestly, I'm treating this very much like the magical mansion.
Mm-hmm.
So predominantly, she has made the main structure of it. She will leave it up to them if they want to change something.
Okay.
They're more than welcome to come out and go, hey, she would change it about it.
Got it. Now, whether you've asked for this or not, go ahead.
Well, also, just so you know, so this might fuck us in the long run, which I'm sorry for everybody. But I have to be honest since he gave me some creative liberties. So, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead are forbidden to enter these areas. I could add celestials, but that would count against their gods as well. So I'm giving them an opportunity for potentially their gods to connect with their worshippers.
Okay. I would say gods are above celestials anyway, so I don't think it would.
I mean,
I think you could argue that they are. Yeah, you could. Yeah, I mean the average god, yes. The Theros gods. So I like that. Yeah, I think that especially if they're trying to commune with their gods, you would have to kind of need to leave that open. Makes sense. Okay, fair enough. So, as I was saying, Persis, you do notice a window in one corner of the library, in the nook, and a bright light shines through it, almost like the sun. And as you go over, you're kind of drawn to the window. You notice that it actually has on a little hinge, and that it can open. And there is a white dove or a pigeon outside of the window. And there is a stack of papers like tucked on the ledge between the window and kind of lodged there. And the wind kind of comes and picks them up, and it causes the bird to kind of flutter. And the window kind of blows open. And it does, before you can like read what those stack of papers say, they scatter to the wind, and they like take off, and they flutter. They begin to kind of like fall, and you look out. You can see a city. You don't even know where the city is. It doesn't look like Melitus. It doesn't look like Akros. It just looks like some city maybe you've made up in your mind. You can see it down below, but you can see those papers are descending down, and that people in like the square are like catching them and beginning to read them. And for a moment, you feel like you're not alone. You get a bit of a chill, but not like a dread, but just a sense of like, oh wait, I'm being watched. And you look over in the corner, and there is a bluish, almost striking, almost beautiful humanoid figure standing in the corner. There, can't tell if it's a male or female, but his or her hair is kind of violet and moving against the wall. They're kind of glowing, but they're in shadow, so there's no light source hitting them, but they still emanate from the dark. And their eyes kind of have a sparkle of the Nyx. And then the figure just kind of nods to you. And as quickly as you see it, they're gone. And then Fitz, you're in the wild, and as you're walking, you're calling that Marco. You're not getting any response back. Suddenly, you notice something. You hear the cawing of a bird, and as you step through the grass on inside this little clearing, you see it. A red swan, just kind of, and it looks at you kind of mean, and squawks, and you see it stomping violently. And when you look down, there's like an anthill, and it's just stomping and pecking and eating the ants. And then you hear Polo from a faraway distance. And then while you're in the forge, Taroxys, and Tel Moon, you both begin to see, you start to hear this hammering, ding, ding, like in the corner of the room, almost like an out-of-body experience. As you look, you notice that, trying to put this one here together because it's important. But you notice that both of you are seeing the silhouette of a minotaur hammering, like kind of like moving against the walls of the fire. But Taroxys, you don't know if it's you or not because you're looking at yourself standing there, and then that silhouette is constantly, as the fire flickers, switches between the silhouette of a shadow of a dancing centaur with two blades. And as the hammer hits, the blades slice, and as the hammer hits, the blades continue to cut. And then both of their silhouettes begin to shrink. As you start to see them flashing against the fire flickering, those silhouettes begin to shrink. And then something else, a larger silhouette, begins to bloom where they were. And that silhouette is something different, something strong, shaped differently, a humanoid with a hammer in one hand and a blade in the other. And Fitz, as you hear the call of the Polo, you look out to where Nylea should be, and you see that bluish figure, same one Persis saw with the like the pinkish hair, looking at you from beyond the grass. And then as you see it, it's gone. And then Taroxys and Telmoon, you see the figure standing in the corner of the forge, like sitting and smiling at you, but smiling in a way that makes you feel slightly assured, but feel still strange. And then you all wake up. And you realize, as you're groggy like anyone waking up from a dream, that everything Sophia did was real, but you all had spent some time in there, and then it starts to come back to you that later on that evening you left, and later on that evening you went back to your spaces and you fell asleep. And now you've had these dreams about the places that you had just gone to. And all of you, as you leave your place of dwelling, I know Taroxys doesn't sleep, you just kind of go into a state of meditation. As you come to from this dream, quote unquote dream Taroxys, there is an Acroyan at your feet, bowing. They look like, and kind of mumbling. Telmoon at your door, another Acroyan. Fitz at yours, another. Persis, yours, another. And Bartholomew, Sophia, when you open yours quarters, Bart is prostrate before you. And we'll crash to black and take a 5-minute break. Pick up from there.
Finally, the humans understand their
What
place.
did you do, Matt?
What is happening?
This was supposed to be
Trying have
their
us
moment.
mantle
Let's
all
go.
of them.
I was giving all the worst God worshippers their moment, and you're like, you know what? You're gonna see some weird shit. You're gonna wake up to more weird shit.
So, what in hindsight, you had wonderful moments, and that all comes back just like in a dream. You know, you had those moments, and you left the door behind. Everything was fine when you left. None of that happened when you really went in there. When you slept that night, you had these weird fucking dreams.
Huh?
That's kind of like, if you want to. It was just more interesting to tell it that way. To have
What
it
is
kind
Bart
of
doing in my room?
I'd like to know.
Neither of you
We'll
remember.
explain when we come back.
Yeah.
Leia wants us to start a war against the ants. Just to
Right,
confuse us.
like- Listen, if they're fire ants, I'm full on board with it, because fuck those guys.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't have a good time to butt in, but
Yes.
Sophia did convince me that we should drop off the Acroans.
Okay.
So I don't know what's happening with all this stuff, but
Mm.
for
New
that day,
development.
our
That doesn't
Yeah.
change anything if you're on
Yeah.
course to like drop them in Melitus then?
No, it's
This
Yes,
one's mine
yeah.
now.
Okay.
well, we'll see.
I
We'll
will
see what
take that. That's
happens.
mine now.
Someone's like,
Alright.
I have a slave. I can do this.
Oh man. Sounds good. That's good stuff. I'll be right back. And
All right.
All
I'm
right.
gonna tell you something right
Obviously
now.
wants to be here.
Roxy's needs this fucking breastplate and helm.
I think I'm better outside of the machine.
yeah, Troxy's actually can.
That's the problem,
He can attune
right?
because he's a medium. Well, actually, he is considered as a Minotaur medium size still, so actually
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but
I'm medium in the.
I always
bear sense.
figured you would be better outside of.
Oh,
the
he would for
machine.
sure, but
Yeah.
like,
So
if
he couldn't wear
assemble
the. Yeah,
That is the issue.
like,
That's why I
assembling
knew it by looking at him. I was like,
Great.
"Oh, give it to Trox is going to make him super powerful, but put him in the machine and you're going to take Troxys off the board."
yeah, you're taking them out of the
So-
fight.
yeah,
Outside,
trade-off.
oh man, if we don't ever need this fucking
yeah.
servant, this shit should go to
We
him
just
ASAP.
keep
And
the
I still don't know
Croats.
where
Just
you guys
force the
are. Are
Croats
you
to
just
be-
keeping? Did you guys keep the Murder King's weapons? Are they like being held somewhere? Or
I mean, I'm assuming Taroxy stole them with his fucking klepto.
I
just-
think I took his
weapon
bracers, but I
himself.
wrote down somewhere where I got like bracers that do 1d6 force damage.
Yeah, worst case scenario, they're in the bag and we can
Yeah,
deal with
that's in
them.
the
Because you're
bag.
talking about the swords, right? The
the
two
swords,
swords.
the two like blaming, the one's like radiant,
the,
one's
the ones that
necrotic.
fuck you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I don't know
Give
if
him
those
the
work
Moby.
against
He's got the
gods.
arms for extra weapons.
Be a 3 or whatever that damn insect race is.
While we're taking this break, I am
Yes.
I am at this moment looking at a fix for Zoom crashing.
Oh, nice.
See, now the dream's got me worried that it's going to take me and Telmoon to bring Taroxy's back, to bring Perforos back.
Hey, if
Here's
that's the
what
way-
fucks me up is
I could
I
finger paint
heard-
in the afterlife. We could figure the shit out. We don't gotta be now.
I don't think it's that. I think honestly something happened while we
Yeah.
were sleeping that they are now worshiping us.
Hell yeah.
The humans are worshiping the non-humans.
Should have been like this all
Yeah.
along. I don't understand why it took them so long to figure this
Jesus,
shit
you
out.
are such a Hitler in this game. Stop.
For storytelling purposes, I think the most traumatic thing would be for Fitz to be the last OG bully left.
Oh yeah, for sure. 1000%.
Like,
Oh,
we're already on
100%.
the trauma train. She just needs to be upgraded to conductor of the
Like,
trauma
it-
train.
like the worst part would be like, okay, so Taroxys, Telmoon, dead, right? And it's just Sophia, Persis, the like 2 new recruits. And they were like, okay, well, we got to go our separate ways. Bye.
And, yeah, that's oof. Oof.
Like we got lives to live. We can't keep doing this.
She'll be
Good
the
luck,
last
Fitz,
bully.
if you
I
need
think
us.
that would start her villain arc.
Oh, for sure. 1000%.
Yeah.
You
Well,
betrayers.
and then you
One
become
shot
a god.
level 20.
The last surviving bully becomes a god. Ugh.
Oh my god.
That's Therax's goal this entire time. Make Fitz the dragon god.
I mean, twist
High
my
beer
arm.
mount, just full grown ancient red dragon.
Jesus.
No, but dude, this helm and fucking chest plate is holy shit.
I didn't read it. Is it pretty good?
When a creature within 5 feet of you casts a spell while you're wearing this, you can use your reaction to make a melee attack against said creature.
So it's just
So
Mage
I'm
Slayer?
like, so it's Mage Slayer. You also get Mage Hunter. As your level increases, you gain following benefits while wearing the armor.
I mean, when
5th
your level
level.
increases, we
Yeah,
level
I know.
17, my guy.
I know.
We get
I'm
all
just
of it.
telling. When you fail a save throw against a spell that targets only you, you can use your reaction to automatically succeed. You can't use this ability until next dawn. At 9th level, you gain a +1 AC, and you can now use that property at 5th level twice. So anytime like
Nope.
it's just you, fuck you twice. 3rd level, your AC goes up +2. And now you can use the property 3 times of saying fuck you, don't mess with me.
But
And
this is us saying keeping it separate.
yeah, this is keeping it separate. Yeah.
Got it.
And then at 17th level, your AC goes up by 3. And
Golly,
if you
Mel.
roll a 20 on a saving throw against a spell that targets only you, the spell is 7th level or lower. The spell has no effect on you. Instead, targets the caster. Yeah, so if I get like disintegrate again, which is the only thing I'm gonna say, like, fuck you, if I get an at 20, it's on you now. But like all the spells and like AC and just because a lot of things like suggestion, that's only a target person. Taroxys can be like, nah, fuck off. And we wouldn't have to fight fucking Taroxys, y'all. I'm just saying. Let's be real. That is a bully's fear.
Yeah.
For nothing.
All it takes is one wisdom save.
And it's like, shit. Like we get counter spells, but we only get so many of those.
You get all the counter spells. What do you mean?
No, we're not
Do I
strong.
have-
We can't do that shit at will.
Do I have counter spell?
I doubt it.
I do have counter
What the? Why? Why? Half your spells are like to buff your melee shit.
Hey, fuck you, okay? Sometimes I need to counter the spells. Yes, I have a lot of spells that are just like melee.
You're like Super Saiyan, then you go to Super Saiyan Blue, and you're like, you know what? Fuck Super Saiyan Blue. I'm going God mode. Ultra Instinct time.
It just makes more sense to cast the other spells. But +3 to AC is huge.
Yeah, I mean, my AC now is 21.
Nice. what?
Mal, do we get a long rest after all that, or no?
Yeah, he's mentioned us sleeping twice. Now we can't hear you though, my guy. I don't know
Yeah,
if you're muted.
long rest, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because now that's another 8 hours that's gone by, so we're going on like a second day. Yeah, you guys were already rested before, and so yeah, you should be fine.
By the way, just because I appreciate the servitude of the humans does not mean I am a tyrant. Sophia.
Full on Hitler, man. How? I literally said the humans are worshiping the non-humans. You're like, how?
I didn't force them. They gained enlightenment on their own. I never told them they had to worship me. I just said they had to serve me. Those are two different things. And not all the humans, just these ones. The ones at the boat.
Yeah, this is a shit job. The attrition rate was kind of high.
Bull got heroes feast now.
I mean, it was yeah.
How many Acroans have we lost in the last 2 weeks of flying through the space?
I think y'all were starting at like 13 or 14 of them.
We did.
Yeah, but I mean, to make it fair, they went and fought the Murder King at the edge of space after fighting basically angels, like light, radiant angels from the Archons from another world.
So we got almost half.
These are guys that are used to
that-
killing like minotaurs.
That's why I'm like, yo,
max.
they're humans. Drop these fuckers off because they're just gonna get in the way. We literally have enough to shoot one ballista. That's it.
That's what they do.
Yeah, not even the what's the other one?
Mangonel?
Yeah, not even. We don't even have enough to do the Mangonel no more. We got to send Moby with them. And that's
like they get
including
one
Barraclay
shot
in their
off.
number.
They get one shot off, and then they're gonna be dead.
That shot could be all we need.
Hey, and I'll tell you, every time they've been attacked, it's an attack that didn't go after one of y'all. Like, so, I mean,
True.
you know, so unless the area effects, but they've held their own. I mean, they've got a
except
decent
when-
amount of hit points. You know.
The Raxi just comes over and
Player-wise, yes, let's
Yes,
click them 'cause
right.
they're
I know what you
cannon
mean,
fodder.
but Sophia actually cares.
Fuck those
But
guys.
here's the thing: I actually hate when players use NPCs as cannon fodder. But if there are ones to use, it's the Acroans. Like they literally were born for this. They never plan to. They never plan
It's
to die
not
of old
cannon
age
fire.
anyway.
Well, like
right?
Bart
They
and
plan to
Bear Clan
fight
can
for the-
stay.
Yeah,
They're
And-
kind of used to this. They're a little
They're
bit more.
fulfilling their destiny.
they're all the way they all look at it is they're all fulfilling their destinies. You know,
And they also have no home to go back to.
yeah.
Akros is gone.
Yeah, but they got people back.
Yeah, they do.
So they've all died honorable deaths. Like none of them fell off the ship or randomly drowned.
You know what
They're all,
Iros is going to say about them if they just go home right now?
Thank you for all your hard work.
We're gonna roll up to Mellitus, so they're gonna be like, "Why are we here? This is
Yeah.
not."
We
We're
need more
replenishing our
victory.
numbers. Fuck off.
That's true. Like if we're picking up more, help. The help.
You could try
There
to
we
go
go.
there and
We
get
could just
more
call
help.
them the help. That helps.
Jeez.
That's what Sophia's gonna
It's
tell
like-
them. They're gonna get off the boat, and then she's like, "First, go now while they're gone."
If we really wanted to hurt their feelings, we could let them off and be like, "We need some Miletians. Get off."
Damn.
I think they would just fight everybody to the death at that point, like to prove themselves. Like they would.
They all look alike. It'll be fine. It's
I
everyone's
just told a
so fun.
Spartan you want a thieves guy.
The
Yeah,
Militians
too much
do
red
use
team. We need some
magic,
blue
yeah.
team.
Oh yes.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I could come up with some stats for recruiting, soldiers in between. The Militians also have flying chariots, Pegasi chariots.
That's an upgrade. Go.
Recruiting? That sounds like
Speaking
fun.
of, where are Pegasi at?
Yours are back in the Vale.
Yeah, they got sent back.
Yeah, they got sent back before you all went into the Nyx. You never went back to get them. So, when you did go back when the fire, I told you could go back and get them from what's her face, the unicorn lady, Lenorna.
Hey, now we gotta
Yeah.
bring Paxanos back so he can get
So
us
y'all,
back
if
to
y'all
the
want to
Veil.
go get him, you can pick him up anytime. You know where the Veil is. You know, you could go.
Now Tubman was on board to bring Rock Paxanos back. You have one
The
more
only
job
reason
do.
to have Proximos is for tree doors.
That was incredibly handy.
Yeah.
He's just a glorified taxi man at this point.
I just been
And
waiting for
pro-
somebody to be like, "Can we talk about the fact that this man went in the mirror and never came back?" Like,
Yeah, we never talked about that.
Not a single time.
We're really good at unpacking our trauma.
I figured y'all had like taken the mirror with you or something. We just left the mirror.
No, we intended to
We
take
broke it,
during
no?
the fight. During our fight with Strahd, it mysteriously broke, but we could tell that Proxinos was not one of the people who came out of it
Yeah.
with some insanely high checks, if I remember correctly.
Yes. And so we find ourselves picking back in that exact moment. So I don't know how you, I don't know where you, I mean, where you're, I can look at the, you know, just because I know where the quarters are doesn't mean I know where everyone necessarily lays their head. And so this could be role played in a number of different ways, but the way you could change it if you see it differently in my mind, because in your mind, because you know, like where you think your character would be. But the way I see it is if everyone kind of sleeps separately, every one of you's having this kind of split screen moment where you're alone and there's a Akroan kneeling before you. And they don't seem to be, as you open the door or as you wake up, they don't seem to be reacting. They're not looking at you, and they're kind of mumbling. And they almost as though they have not even noticed that you are awake and that you are looking at them. So it's at first that moment of shock, but then I wonder what you do and how you react. Do you say, what are you doing? Like, you know, and I'll turn it over to you all, and we'll do Bart last because Bart is being thrown into this as well, because Nick probably has no clue what's happening.
I was like going to be the first one to say, like, what the fuck you doing?
Hey, Taroxys, do you think we've started sleeping apart, or do you think Tubman still sleeps on your feet?
Well, I was thinking that I'm just like in the corner of your room, like
Yeah.
just turned off.
You guys have bunk beds?
Well, I don't
Tum-
sleep. I just
Yeah, he doesn't sleep.
Oh.
Tubman's
Just
always kind of
got
curled up at his feet. So they're probably both in our room,
Yeah.
which is. I'm just gonna look up and like, you seeing this?
friends, this is actually not your room.
Yes. Pray to the bullies, praise to the bullies. They don't respond.
How hard did you work them at those bellows, Talmoon? We had the shifts.
They had at least 3 hours of sleep.
We cut over to Sophia. Sophia, you're seeing Bart is doing this, you know, same thing. Sophia, can I have a insight check?
Jesus fucking 24.
So what you're able to derive from this, and when I move around, we can always keep moving. So we like don't feel like I'm shutting you out. So tell me if you and Taroxy want to start role playing, and then I finish what I'm saying, jump right back into it. But in this quick shot, what you're really observing, what it appears to be Sophia, and everybody can take this information and use it as they wish to. So it's like Sophia's win is somebody else's win. What you recognize is it looks like Bart is like not coherent completely, almost like he's sleepwalking or sleep kneeling at this point.
I pause just to see if Tumbo and Tarxis want to do
Yeah.
anything else.
Or anybody else, yeah, Fitz, you, Persis, you as well.
Sophia will grab her crook and gently kind of lift Bart's face up. What's his face like? Like, especially his eyes. Are they closed or are they like?
Eyes are closed but fluttering.
And
Like someone in RIM, like they're like moving.
Is he muttering things as well? And
It
if
seems like
he
his
is,
language patterns are changing constantly from like different languages, different
they
kind of
should.
human common languages, but every now and then they shift to the common one that you know, and they seem to be prayers of reverence in belief or faith in and it's kind of like he kind of mutters a couple times, "I have faith in you."
Okay. Sophia being cleric, does she feel like Bart is currently praise/worshiping her?
That's what it appears.
She'll quickly snap him out of that.
How?
She'll take a crook and just tap him on the head.
As you do, can I have a con save from you, Bart? It's gonna be a 12.
Hey.
Don't fucking worship the cleric. She don't like that shit.
Sorry, con save 8.
Con save 8.
We get those con saves too, right? No.
Who? You all?
Yeah, like further on, we only get level 8 con saves. We're good.
Yeah, like
That's a 19.
okay.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, he smacks you, and you snap out of it, and you like feel it. You kind of look, and you're like, you're like in your, oh shit, and you like look up, and you look lost. You feel, and as you come to, only then do you remember, Bart. You remember you were all hands on deck. You and the other Akroans, you were on the ship, and you were sailing into the storm, and but none of the bullies were around, and before the storm, like it looked like this kind of maelstrom was going to destroy the ship. You started to see Sophia's visage in the sky, the way you've seen other gods move across the stars. And so you just remember in that moment as you were riding the ship, you were all kind of like crying out to Sophia in that moment. And now you're just in Sophia's room, which is just weird, or at the door.
Oh, what?
My apologies, Bartholomew, but why are you in my quarters? On your knees.
At this moment, the others are all starting to snap out of it. One of them looks up at Fitz. Oh, the
Acroians were saying that they believe in us, and I think as soon as Fitz heard that, she like sat down on the ground and was like, that's really good to hear, because I just really haven't been believing in myself lately. So it's just so nice to hear that from somebody that they believe in me. And when he wakes up, she's like, I mean, yeah, things are great.
I just thought we were on the ship.
We are, I think.
Captain, I am so sorry. Captain Persis.
Persis would have, like, when she saw this, would have knelt down, and as he was still praying, like laid a hand on his shoulder, but kind of waited for a reaction. Like
something. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Sorry, Micah.
It's all right. I had a vision too, but I don't think the same. Let's get you back to your post.
Not a problem. I am sorry. It must be. I'm sure I've just been very tired. It's been all of us, but as an Acroin, I assure that I will make up for this tomorrow, and in future serving the crew.
Apology accepted, soldier.
You said you had a dream or a vision?
I'm not sure what it means yet.
Did you see the person?
Someone I didn't recognize. Yes.
Violet hair, energy course.
It seemed like they tried to deliver a message and it was scattered. But I should talk with the others.
Yeah, I'm no oracle, and I'm definitely not smart in these ways, but I definitely know, and I feel like something was definitely trying to send me a message. And he just kind of turns and walks away from you. Thank you, and grabbing his things.
Hold up, soldier. Were you at your post?
I was actually not sleeping.
Right, let's get back to where you were going.
Or
And Perseus
I'm-
rushes up
That's why you apologize
to
for
see
falling
what's
asleep.
going on.
Yeah, and
This ship.
To find out the ship status quickly.
Bart. The ship seems to be, as you're looking through Perseus, everything seems to be in order. It seems to be like a strange lapse, and from the looks of it, there's only 4 of them, so maybe if there were 2 on post, those 2 have kind of like had left their post momentarily, but it doesn't seem like much time has passed. And as you do kind of like scour quickly through the ship, nothing seems to be amiss or out of place, at least in this moment.
I'm sorry, Sophia.
What about the
There was-
ship? Does it need repaired again?
We saw the ship. No, we were on the ship. Me and fellow soldiers. We saw you in the sky. Larger than anybody out there, taking up the sky.
In the sky? Like myself right now in the sky, or?
It was stormy weather. A maelstrom was hitting the ship. All seemed hopeless.
This maelstrom, was it like THEROS at sea, or was it more like this?
Felt like it was the waves and the currents. I'm
So
sorry. Again, I don't
no, you're fine. Just very peculiar that you're in my quarters, on your hands and knees, praying as if I would be.
And none of them remember. None of you were actually in the dream praying, so that part's just weird to you. So Bart, you don't. When you wake up, you're just on your knees, like weren't doing it in the dream. So that didn't seem right. You're just like all hands on deck in the moment.
But you tell me this dream, you're on a ship with fellow soldiers in a maelstrom storm, and you look up and see me. I'm sorry, but the only thing I can think of is you saw a constellation of me. I'm very much alive and very much not a god. Although the bully's friends, what was his name? The Triton, Pythias, he was a constellation for a short time. Maybe still is. Haven't really looked out there in a long time. And Sophia will just stand up, help Bart up, and just go over this dream from front to back with Bart as she escorts him to wherever he wants to go.
And to be clear, the whole library, the figure, and all the stuff that was leading up to this was also part of the dream now.
Did you go in the library with Perseus? Were you doing? Oh, which library?
I was just talking about like the dream and like how much was it just the ship and the.
Yeah, it was just the ship. It just picked up from that moment. So you probably had a regular night, like however you wound down or wherever you were at in your quarters. You just, when a dream picks up, you're just in the middle of it and it feels natural. So you were just on the ship in this moment, in this encounter, and then you woke up and you're just in front of Sophia. So that's how it felt, And then it all started to make sense. Like, oh, that actually makes sense why that actually wasn't really happening, right? And it wouldn't.
Yeah.
And you're not like nobody's waking up like actually still worshiping anybody. Like, so Bart, you don't feel like Sophia's a deity, but in your dream, she was, right? Like she was like in the sky. And now it's all starting as it's coming down and being more real, you're like, oh, that's just weird, right? Like
Yeah. I think that to the best of Bart's ability, he would describe that feeling of shock, of this insurmountable obstacle, calling for the soldiers to ready, to all hands on deck, and how the visage and how Sophia appeared.
say that one more time. You're gonna be
Just like the situation, calling out all hands on deck, describing how Sophia really looked and all that. So Sophia, you would get the full detail.
Would everyone
As
would
best as
assembled
you
by
can
now, or are
remember.
you all still having kind of separate? Yeah, I imagine. Okay, so we kind of fast forward everyone. That's kind of assembled about these dreams.
Then did you
Who'd you say?
like kind of like men?
Oh,
I'm
yes.
assuming that they're also gathered up.
Yeah,
to-
they're all, and everyone's looking like kind of without even saying, like they've all talked to like, yeah, we've definitely had a dream.
So, question. Did everybody have the same, did they all see Sophia, or did they each see an individual bully in their dream?
So as they start to explain that, since you're asking the question, the soldier who was at your door saw Fitz, and so forth. One saw Telmo,
That's
one saw
interesting.
Taroxes, one saw Persis.
But it was the same collective ship.
Same
Maelstrom?
collective ship moment, and they all like experience the moment together in the same way. Everything happens. It's just the deity in the sky and
Was
the Nyx
different.
was different.
Sophia, was there like a mass hallucination as part of your gift yesterday? I mean,
To be honest, I never cast that spell. So there's a possibility. But I don't think that's how it works.
I don't think it had anything to do with Sophia. As Barraclan steps forward, he's like, I had a dream too, but nothing like what you all had.
You're the
What
only
was
one
your
that's
dream?
different.
I fell asleep. I'd been having some wine and I woke up right where I was, but I didn't know I fell asleep while everyone was. I was just sitting here on the deck, looking out into the Nyx, feeling the breeze, and a fellow, maybe a lady, couldn't tell, came over and sat right across from me, and so I offered, because it's a dream, and make sure it's in reality. I probably would have slugged him one, but I just remember the hair moved like water, slender, almost celestial in nature. They didn't say a word. Just passed them the bottle and they took a sip. And from what everybody else is saying, it seems like that's the person sharing the message. And all I got from mine is they were letting me know that everything was okay. And in my dream, the strange part is that I start hearing everyone, the commotion, and everyone start coming up to the deck, coming out, just like what just happened. And they were gone. And I looked over. And then when I snapped out of it, I was laying here and you were all on deck. So, yeah.
This figure in all your dreams, was it like the Nyx, or did
They had a
it
Nyx-like
look
quality.
differently?
But and so everyone seems to be describing the very similar, same entity.
Rufik?
No, not Krufix at all. Krufix with the 4 arms, no. If anything, what they're seeing is, I didn't actually load this beforehand, but what I'll show you, if it helps here, if I can find it,
I mean, Sophia will do a fucking religion check all day, every day, but talking about gods now, this is my domain. Although she does not like the feeling of being one. What the shit now?
I don't recognize that one.
Nope. That is not an MTG character.
Huh?
Okay.
Hmm.
What homebrew bullshit you throwing at us now?
So this is the figure that all of you kind of saw. Slender, wispy, almost like kind of wrapped in the Nyx, almost like clothed in the Nyx. Yeah, to some degree, and all of you, kind of from the way you're describing it, sounds it's maybe slightly different, but are describing the same person, thing, entity.
Do you think it's a real person or just like someone we all collectively made up? Because if she's real, then I could just talk into her brain and ask why on earth she's bothering us.
Has anyone here been thinking of strangers?
I mean, I
Not
don't
of
know
this
how to
person.
think of someone I don't know.
I was thinking it might have been Crewfix or someone, but the description's off.
Yeah, no, it's hard to miss those extra arms.
It also, just for a word of warning, none of us know. So, okay, well, let me clarify above the table. We know that Phoenix sacrificed himself, and he had some kind of form previous to this that he's taken beyond the next.
That is, yes, because what we know is that Phoenix was a god from another realm. And
Right.
what we also know is that god essentially, maybe from whatever happened in that world, that god became like a husk, become like a dead entity. But with the in essence of it, which is a little more complicated story, made it into Theros along with some of the other gods. So what you were even told a long time ago is that supposedly the original Titans might have been weakened gods from this other realm that tried to flee into Theros and establish a new kind of reign. And so
So thanks for that.
yeah. And then we all know that Phoenix, in the stories at least, is that was a man who lived in Theros, who died, who was the first one to trek back and become the first returned. And so what we know is that what we had learned later is that basically Phoenix, basically the essence of him is basically he took on the part of that god from another realm, took on the form of an archon. So that archon was essentially playing human. So when that archon died, it went through the same process, and that's why it was able to ascend. Phoenix didn't even know that about himself. So through the three masks, he started to learn his original history, leading back to, I was a god from another realm, and I was actually greater than some of these other gods. And so that's when you all met him, and literally at one point, he's like sacrificed himself and goes back to the void because he would rather be like what's on the other side. Maybe he's a stronger version of himself. So that kind of brings that full circle.
He's a punk.
He is a punk, which goes back to my point of if Phoenix is altered somehow, none of us would know what he looks like, and he's tricked us before with false images. It stands to reason to be cautious. These visions do seem to be telling us what we want to hear. At least some of us. I know, Sophia, you seemed uncomfortable with this idea.
I don't see myself as someone to be worshipped. More like More like these soldiers. They have a job, they do it. My job is to make sure that the ones that fall find eternal rest where they need to be. I don't know about any of you, but I don't feel like I deserve or should be worshipped. It is a job that I've taken up, and I enjoy giving comfort to those that have lost. To ensure them that their loved ones or friends, family are being guided to the proper destination that they need to be. I am just a tool of THEROS. I don't wish to replace him.
Completely understandable.
Any of
I
you?
was meant to kill minotaurs.
I mean, you did that pretty well. You got into a bar fight, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's all right. Mogus might still be out there, so I've got to be ready.
I'm sure he is. Do you not want to kill minotaurs anymore?
Oh no, it's a fight on sight. They don't necessarily have to die. They just need to lose. And they
She just
don't
looks
lose
at-
gracefully.
She just looks at the bullies like, is that progress or not?
Baby steps.
One of the Akron Septips says, listen, I think it goes for all of us. We respect you all. This was a dream. I don't think any of us plan to start worshiping you all anytime soon. Especially looking at, he points at Telmoon, clearly not the... but,
What, a god of dance you would not worship?
I would. It's not because he dances. It's the guy would be the god of disrespect. If I was deciding to give him a name, you know what I mean. Tell me, you can take it. But you can kind of like throw it. He's not like being like he's not like trying to start a confrontation, but they're being Akroyd, just kind of like throwing an insult at Telmoon and seeing if it'll bounce off his chest. But they
Sophia
go.
just walks up to the guy and just goes, he's more than just words. He is an artist in many ways. You may not see it because you're blind from
No, it's not that I don't
your
see
training.
it. Does he see that I am more than just a soldier?
That's a conversation you and him must have. Maybe over drinks, maybe over a dance. I don't know, do you dance? Do Akroyans dance?
I don't. Some do, but
Maybe you should change that. You see things from your side, you see things from his.
I think
this soldier's name is Bacchus. Bacchus kind of like just nods, like, all right.
That's not gonna be hard to fucking forget.
I think a point was raised, no matter what this was. What our plans are and what we are doing has not changed.
To the underworld, then? Me and Telmoon made a brand new spear for our old friend who could use one.
Suddenly, Barraclan goes, ship! Looks off and there's like a twinkle. Boom. And you can hear the ship kind of like coming in kind of hot. And you recognize it's that small bug-shaped, scorpion-shaped ship.
Fucking fight on site.
All hands
as it's
on deck.
approaching.
Fuck this bitch.
What are you all doing? It seems like it's about
Trying to refrain from casting a 9th level harm.
it's probably less than a minute out. And the last time you saw the scorpion, you all met and talked. So you don't see any as it's coming in. You don't see any like. There's no appearance that it's coming in to attack, but that it has tracked you down and is Scorpion is back. Probably because you finished the job, but it's up to you to decide
All hands to battle stations regardless.
All hands on deck.
Oh yeah,
But,
Sophia just goes as close as she can get to the damn thing. Like, okay, just get in range.
The ship begins to get closer and closer and closer, kind of slowing
Fitz?
down.
Fitz is gonna cast Sending, and to the Scorpion, and say, "Oh hey, long time no see. Nice for you to drop in. What's going on?"
Just dropping in because you've accomplished your mission and you deserve your reward.
You guys, it seems like a friendly mission. Maybe don't kill on sight.
He's killed millions, and you don't want to kill her on sight.
I mean, she says she's giving us a reward for finishing the job. Probably with the Murder King. Can we maybe collect that first?
Hold steady,
And
man.
if the reward is just a disease,
Is that what she's giving us? Because that sounds horrible.
The ship is, and that's all you're having this conversation. It's like the Hammerhead is very. It's a large ship. Let me give myself some more. So the Hammerhead is like big ship, and this is like a ship. It could land right on the deck like that. Like it would just kind of touch down right there in the midst, and then So it hasn't done that yet, but it's like coming down.
Yeah.
The kind of catapult on the Scorpion tail is curled up, so nothing's armed. You would be able to tell. So it's just like literally trying to touch down right now, and then you notice that if you do let it touch down, that that hatch would come down off its underbelly, where the Scorpion normally makes her way out.
Hearing that last bit of discussion, Persis would also add, if we don't like the reward, destroying them is still an option.
Always.
I'm just saying she's the reason millions of Theros died. Couldn't help them. I don't like her. Sophia will
do
start
I.
walking towards the back of the group to have cooler heads prevail right now.
Okay.
Wow, Sophia likes everyone, and she doesn't
Leave
like
Talmud
this
in the
person.
front. This makes sense.
This is Sophia's Minotaurs, okay?
Yeah, this.
$1,000,000%.
It's
And
also
how-
Moby's, so I'm hoping hopefully Moby isn't just hiding in the shadows somewhere.
I imagine Moby probably not like, because Moby hates her freaking guts, but he also knows she kind of held some of the key to him finding.
Me and Moby
what
are
key
chilling
or some-
together. Rock,
Yeah.
paper, scissors. Who gets
Makes
killed?
sense. So the ship touches down. Akron's kind of.
How many of us are humanoids? Any?
What do you mean?
What's a humanoid? What is that?
All of you are humanoids.
All
Most of us are not.
Yeah,
Oh,
most
wait.
of us are Fae.
Oh,
There's a
yeah, the
handful
satyrs are Fae. I always forget the satyrs are Fae.
Satyrs and
But everyone else is a
Sophia-
humanoid.
Sophia, not Sophia.
Because
Persis
Tyroxis
is
is still a humanoid.
Yes.
Humanoid.
Persis,
Okay, okay.
Tyroxis,
Yeah, I'm humanoid and a construct.
and Bart.
Okay.
Bard's
Yeah,
a
Bard's
human.
definitely human.
Barrow
Bart's a
Clan.
humanoid.
What
Bear
about
Clan's
a
humanoid.
scorpion?
Yeah, it's just a man.
Do we know about the scorpion?
It's a so the Scorpion always presents as a
Because it's a lady.
she presents as a in terms of the way she looks like a return, but you all found out a long time ago she's not a return. She's not undead. So she is just a human.
Most likely, yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna cast Calm Emotions on all the humanoids, which is basically no one.
I'll take a hit of that. I don't care if I'm Fae or not. It's probably best for this game right now.
Just keep things real nice and chill.
I rolled a mighty 8.
God, this never even works, so I don't know how it works.
How did Bacchus do?
What's
Oh, it's a charisma save of 18.
Yeah, take a look at Bacchus and see how he does. He wants to be judged by his feats. How does he
I
do
love
on
how
this
you
save?
named him after the great god of wine.
Yeah, that's the only way I'll remember it. That's the only reason.
That's the only reason I remember it.
The Roman god of wine.
Oh yeah, the
actually.
Roman. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
it's dialects technically.
Persis got a 30 on the save. So
Awesome.
I didn't.
You are not calm.
You know what? I'll roll for shits and gigs, but you know that's a
Okay, so
two.
Fitz, you were casting Calm Emotions.
Fuck, that's an
Yes.
8. What's up?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a charisma save of 18, in case anyone wants
Failed
to
by 10.
fail.
Yeah, the only one I care
You
about is
chill
Bacchus.
out.
I'll eat a magic mushroom. Let's go.
You start to feel the presence of Erebos as the ship touches down. And just like you have felt in the past, at those tingles that let you know a god is giving you some form of respect, what you would all, like when above table, call piety, you feel the gift, if you accept it, being, before she even walks out of the ship, 20 Erebos piety for anyone who is accepting of it. Otherwise, you're shunning it and pushing back on. That's not the gift, of course, but that's just something you feel from the presence. And as she disembarks, kind of looking, as you see there, the kind of gold and the robe like a return, the blades, very little of her body, of her grayish skin showing though, right? Because she kind of clambers all up and keeps the mask on. She steps off and she actually removes it, sharing her face and long black curly hair. She goes, I am enamored, and you are the best at what you do. You did it. You killed the Murder King.
I mean, duh.
She gives like a slow clap. Erebos is prepared to give you all a reward for this task. And what he offers you is a soul from the underworld. He will restore a soul from his clutches or his grasp. But there are some conditions. The condition is that the bronze bullies take on this, whatever you, Thraxes, we've kind of heard what's going on around, but you are to leave Erebos and his dealings alone. You are to leave, let me say that again, I will give you a soul, but you are to leave Erebos out of, the bronze bullies are to never meddle with Erebos again. We let bygones be bygones.
Long time.
As long as you all shall exist in the plane or in the underworld, you will leave Erebos be. And in that way, you will also never be subject to his lash or his subjugation. What say you, bronze bullies?
I mean, that sounds kind of stupid, don't you guys think?
Last I checked, it was Erebos messing with us, not the other way around.
And
Yeah.
I don't
think
think we
any
can
god
accept this
is-
in good conscience.
Mm-mm.
What Erebos is doing is unconscionable, and we have to stop it.
What is he doing? He's being Erebos. You have bigger fish to fry. You understand this. He is. She looks over, small potatoes in the grand scheme of things, wouldn't you say? I mean, and I know you
think
don't want to
if-
bring back Elliot, so.
If you leave small potatoes alone for far too long, they grow into giant potatoes, and I don't think that we're just gonna leave potatoes alone. They're delicious.
If anything, it's mildly insulting to be offered a single soul for the price of eternal freedom from the lash of the bullies.
Oh, yeah.
I see. You all are so difficult to negotiate with. As I've always said, I'm not here. I'm just a messenger in this. And so I will deliver it. Unfortunately, you would be able to have what you want out of this. You could even maybe sweeten the pot. Is there no way we can come to some deal?
Not if the price is turning a blind eye forever.
All right.
Few more souls and perhaps a reasonable timetable.
I'm not sure if even that. We would have to promise to never interfere with whatever he does. I
Well,
don't think so.
That's why I suggested a reasonable timetable, not never. Maybe
Life
like a
and
year, 2 years.
Until he does something that we take offense to.
Yeah.
As long as you don't offend us, we'll be fine.
2 years in this game of a god is like making a contract for 2 minutes.
Then it should be easy.
Our span on this world is short, and years do matter.
I understand. You forget I am immortal as well. I will deliver what you said. Sophia. Sophia, do you want to have to go to hell and back to get him? Why not? It is easy. Let him snap his finger and bring him to you here now. Convince your friends they're being foolish.
We're right here.
I'm not the person. She will snap at the scorpion as if Troxy's just saw a minotaur and say, "Your god forbidden mine to do his job. Souls were tortured where they died. And you want one soul back? I will get my brother if it costs me my life. But you leave here with yours now."
Fair. Fair. Farewell, bullies. And then she's kind of like turning the back away to go on the ship. She kind of contorts for a second, and her shoulders kind of drop in an unnatural way, almost like the clavicles break, and she goes limp. And you notice that her feet are barely dangling off the ground, just by like half an inch. And she's just there floating, and then she awakens, contorts again, moves again, and you start to see like the veins in her skin pulsating because she has her mask off. And you realize at this moment it makes clear that the scorpion is a corpse. And these unseen strings, violet light seems to be pulsing around her neck and her wrists, revealing almost like they may be attached to some ethereal whip that is leading up. So she's standing on the ramp of the scorpion ship, and so it's leading up into the darkness right behind her, like maybe 20 feet. And as she kind of moves, you can see that some figure stands in the shadows behind her, right beyond where she stepped out, and it sends a chill to your core. Can I have a wisdom save from all of you?
Oh, yeah.
Bart is shitting his pants.
Is
Is
this
it against-
I was gonna say, is this a spell or a magical effect?
It is a magical effect, but it's not a spell.
That's a 17.
It's against a frightened.
It's against being frightened. It's a frightened condition. So if you're immune to it, then you
Cool.
can push through it, of course.
Well, that's have advantage.
Yep.
Okay, so
That
26.
That is a 8.
Okay.
It's a natural 19 for an 18.
Yeah. And so I know the bronze
11.
bullies, I don't think any bronze bullies would ever be like shitting their bricks, like scared to the core. But if you didn't hit more than a 25, you are quite reserved in the moment. Like, and you're
28.
not.
Great.
So you are considered, you're frightened in that way
Fuck that guy.
you would be reverentially frightened. Like, I don't know what we should be like looking at each other to figure out what we should do kind of frightened. Because I don't know how to size this up. And that figure has this kind of abyssal like quality. It's like they're exuding dread, and you don't see eyes where they should be standing, but you recognize that there is a voice that comes off the figure, and as the figure kind of leans out of the shadows, you see the pale skin of a very soft but pointed jaw. But right before you can see any of the features, it's almost as though the light either dims or the shadows manipulate around it so that it goes right back into shadow. And then the scorpion's body contorts backwards, almost breaking, and then her body is snatched back into the darkness. And then there is just a Scorpion. She failed her mission long ago when she tried to betray Erebos on your last meeting. I was actually hoping you would deny Erebos. I'm actually glad we get an opportunity to tussle, because I've been watching you, and I'm not even the biggest fan of Erebos, but I'll play along with his game if it allows me to have a go with the bronze bullies themselves. Do any of you respond? His figure's still standing there in the darkness.
And I'm still unreasonably calm.
Wait a
This
minute.
is all
Doesn't calm
so
emotions
chill.
like negate the effect of fear? Like,
I guess, yeah, like it would probably be
Yeah.
fear. I think fear would override calm, so that would make sense. So yeah.
We're good. How far away is this ship?
You're all maybe 40 feet from the top ledge. The ledge is off maybe 30 feet off the ground. So, like, in no way, this thing is within striking distance. It's humanoid size. It's tall, but it's like, you know, it feels like right there where it's standing above the edge of the doorway, it's leaning down. You know, just kind of peering, but there are no eyes to see, just the shape of the jawline.
It's not like a voice that any of us are familiar with.
This is not.
It?
So I imagine that, like, many of you would be like, by seeing the whips and the threads, you're like, oh, Erebos. This isn't
Yeah, for
Erebos'
sure.
voice.
It's a whole ass Slender Man.
Yeah.
I would recommend you don't meddle in Erebos' affairs. And I would recommend, well, I have to say this because Erebos says, don't come to the underworld. Wink, wink. You should come, because I am waiting. And this mist begins to rise around the ship, like to the point where it's hard to even see through the mist the doorway of the figure, all around the ship, starting to blot out the stars, starting to make it where Erebos sends you this. Let you try. For now, you will, if you want to find the underworld so bad, you will travel the stars blind. And then the figure steps a bit into the dim light. As before, the shadows are able to consume them. What you see is this figure. This figure steps in, and it's not Erebos, and it reveals itself to be striking otherworldly appearance, long talon-like claws, adorned slender fingers, and a smile with pointed teeth piercing black lips. And where the upper half of the face should be, their head is not there. Just large rocky horns. But everything where a cranium would be is a void space. And instead of facial features, it is a black smoke emanating and swirling and cooling upon the contact of its surroundings.
Oh, fuck.
You are in the presence of Ashiok.
Mm-hmm.
And I look forward to our little games. And the mist kind of wafts over. And like with that, as it kind of parts for a moment, the whole ship is gone. They're gone. It's gone. The body of the scorpion, and the ship is no more. It's just kind of sitting there. What do you all do?
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
That wasn't a dream, right?
No, but if Erebos sent that, he must be scared. He wants a general to fight us. Someone that leads his armies potentially. If we fought the god, that should be nothing, right?
I
You
felt
sound very
this.
confident.
Well, I feel like Erebos has laid out the red carpet for us now.
I mean, yeah, they should know that telling us not to do something is a surefire way of getting us to do it.
And you get the feeling that is Erebos is saying, stay away. You get the feeling that Ashiok is delivering the message, but very much waiting for you to come.
I did not think you'd bring a bitch in here, but okay.
We can take some small comfort in the thought that the scorpion is getting what she deserved.
Yeah.
Silver lining, I guess.
Does that mean we don't get a reward? Because, like, I thought a reward was involved.
We're dealing with gods now, Lady Fitz. Especially ones that lie all the time.
Well,
Take
if
what
they
we want
won't
when we
give,
get there.
we'll
Yeah.
take.
I don't
Minds
think
think
he
alike.
would. I don't think we'd have gotten a soul even if we asked for one.
It was a trap.
And in any
Well-
case, we didn't take out the Murder King because Erebos asked.
True.
And the same thing for Thraxes.
Although the Murder King did say something at the end.
Hmm?
He told me to kill Erebos.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I
did.
just thought that was just. I mean, he is titled the Murder King. I just figured he wanted to get one more kill under his belt. Maybe he actually has a point to it.
Can I have a insight check, Sophia?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
5 plus. That's 22.
You get the feeling, you could be wrong, but you get a strong feeling that maybe now with this encounter, you know, the Murder King was a strong personality and someone who reveled in bloodshed. And you get the feeling that maybe even for the Murder King to be toyed with for centuries like that by Erebos without any major free will, that even he would want his last kill to be Erebos. He would want you to do what he couldn't do. Either that, or when the Murder King died, he was under the power of Thraxes, and Thraxes wants you to kill kill Erebos.
Don't fucking do that now.
Hey, here's the problem. You're talking to the one character that does not give a fuck about Erebos. Like,
Kill 'em
live,
both.
die, don't care. I just want one thing out of that whole underworld.
We gonna get it.
But
Do you
she
think-
does state that he stated to kill Erebos, just doesn't know if that was his last wish or if that was a recommendation.
Do you think we should?
Kill
Name's
the
still
god
on
of
my
death.
list.
Would, should. Strong difference. I suppose we're going to be getting our friends out anyway, and if Erebos gets in the way, then we handle him like everything else that's been in the way.
I mean, sure, and we're so much stronger than when we fought Heliod, but like we had all these other gods helping us.
I know the bullies do not like him.
Persis, we don't have to leave this moment here, but before we close out or whatever, you're going to have to give me a survival navigation check like you were doing when we were in the shard space, to see if you get lost or if you can somehow right the course. Even if you're at this point, it's like even if you're trying to get to Melitus, like everything seems off. Like it feels like something is trying to interfere with your brain when you try to point the ship in the right direction, and then there's this constant miss around the ship.
Man, Erebos is a contradictory piece of shit.
Yeah.
Don't come to fucking Underworld. Don't come to Underworld. By the way, no stars anymore. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know how much of that came from Ashiok,
Because the
right?
Underworld is a kind of place I think you all know. It's probably not just a
terrifying.
rock floating in space. There takes this kind of like focus you need to.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
have to
only
take
is
a
it there,
journey.
but it's invisible. Like it's it's there.
Wow, deep dive arrows. That sucks ass because I did not expect
Wow.
Ashiok to show her fucking ugly mug.
Wow. So this check, is it using proficiency with navigator's tools? Or
Yes,
is
I'll
it-
take that. I'll take
okay.
proficiency.
Okay. Ooh, still not great. That's a 12.
Okay.
Plus guidance.
I need you to roll a d12 plus a d4 and add those together.
Okay.
Was that 12 with guidance?
That was not. Should I add guidance?
I casted guidance.
I don't think you want to add guidance to this
What the shit?
because you're trying to get the higher number on guidance, right? You're trying to
For the
on
first
on the
roll.
survival check. not on
Oh, for the survival
D12.
check. Yes, you could do that for the survival check. For the
Yeah.
d12 was what I was saying. Yeah,
Okay. I mean, that puts it to a 14, but yeah.
that still doesn't do it. So yeah, d12
Yeah.
plus d4.
Okay. 12 again.
Okay. So, 12 days later,
Oh,
We pick up.
bitch.
you all have been wandering aimlessly. You haven't found anything. You haven't found any monsters to fight, but you've been going through your resources. You've been going through your wine. You've going through your. So I'm gonna have to look at what's all been consumed. You can try to argue that you're trying. Yeah, you could argue that you're maybe trying to use less of it. But you're all pretty ragged by this, and you're still able to, I guess, rest and eat and everything, but it's kind of taking a toll just kind of being lost in the void.
I have a question.
Yes.
For those 12 days, can Sophia still cast Temple of the Gods for everybody?
Yes. So that allows some
Okay.
people some recourse of like escape in them. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So then I won't actually make you make the check I was going to have you make. I would remove that from the table.
Well, also just because, like, Telmoon and Troxys could create something else, not
Mhm,
weaponry
mhm.
or not.
If you can use it,
Isis
yeah.
Just
Weapons.
So you all tell me here, like we're ending,
Versus-
like kind of like, what do you think those 12 days look like? And you might maybe adding something to it, almost like montage style. What you think you might be experiencing, you're welcome to add to like.
Bar's hammering every nail. He is putting the ship back together,
Yeah.
and he is not happy.
I would say there was a chance for it to be some actual in-game effects, but I think Sophia's Temple has kept you all like from having any personal. So otherwise, he's just role-playing negative effects than actually experiencing negative effects from them being lost.
Fitz definitely takes Kai through the secret garden, and she teaches her Marco Polo, and they play in the woods a lot. Many
Fitz,
flower crowns.
do you want to give me either an insight or a religion check?
Ooh. Okay. Yes, I can do that. 22.
Okay. So going through and showing, you're sitting out. You don't even see it again. You don't see the vision of the red swan, but you remember seeing the figure before. You've all had some assumptions about it. You say Marco a couple times on this journey, and with Kai, maybe this is day 11 or almost 12, when you hear Polo this time, it sounds like Polo, but what you hear is like kind of a Nylea making a kind of a pointed, letting you know something in your soul, your spirit. And that is that the swan is a form of her her long lost pet that Phoenix turned into a monster. And the vision of it stomping on the anthill is because it is about to destroy a polis. One of the polis is under attack soon by Ifara's monster.
No.
It is not up to you. You don't have to try to find this polis or take this, into action. But when you think of the vision again, you realize that the way the anthill was built, it looked like a little city full of trees. A polis surrounded by trees. And so we'll leave you with that.
Okay.
And so it's not like a vision or a bad omen. It's just like you're just kind of sitting there with Kai, and then it's like, oh my God, that's what that was about. That's what that was about. It's kind of like...
Does it look like my favorite place full of trees? Like the...
No, it's not the Veil. It's a polis, so it's probably Setessa.
Okay. God.
We only know like 5 people there know that.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of connections to Setessa,
Do
but...
I know? It's Setessa.
I don't think you guys have even been there, so
we met some warriors like in the like games early on.
Yeah.
That we like respected, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they were human, so
Delica and
we didn't murder them.
Leto's
or
gonna
some
be
of us
upset.
didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is he from Setessa? Is Leto from Setessa?
Did he go back to Setessa?
He went back to Setessa, right?
He went to
No.
Meldus last time I saw him.
He went to Meldus. Setessa, you're not allowed after age 14.
Because he's a male.
Okay.
Okay. Well, okay. So
yeah.
She's gonna have that like revelation moment.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll probably come out and turn to each bully and be like, who do we know in Setessa? Who do we know in Setessa? Do you know anyone in Setessa? Tell me about someone in like just trying to find someone I'm familiar with so I can try to warn them.
Okay. We could think about that. I don't know. If it was those people that you met, so she could
would be a long shot.
That would be a long shot.
Sending...
Yeah, it'd be kind of a long shot because they were like met them in like a passing. It wasn't like somebody that they were like really.
Yeah, but that's when we made our big splash and all of the flags started coming out. So I think she would be like, "Hey, you might not remember. I'm Fitz from Bronze Bullies. Setessa is in danger. Animal attack?"
Okay.
I feel like if we become demigods, one of our powers is to be able to communicate with anyone who has a flag.
Yeah.
Through the flag.
Yes.
Or any paraphernalia.
Fuck scrying and sending. It's via flag.
So now we've seen like from her montage, we've seen what Fitz has been up to. We kind of see also with Sophia, unless you had something else on the table, Sophia, but anybody else?
Yeah. I mean, for most of the time, Persis will be kind of in despair at losing the way and not being able to find where we're trying to go. And it's going to just be getting increasingly desperate. But in addition to spending a lot of time in her happy place in the Temple of Ifara, she will spend a little time in the THEROS temple. And kind of gravitates towards the painting supplies. She's not trained with painting, so she's gonna just do her best. And will also like make like annoyed little faces whenever there is loud hammering, which I imagine is most of the time.
Yeah, it's not good.
But is trying to also do her devotion because she does worship THEROS as well. And she's going to try to paint a picture of those of us who went to the top of the mountain to fight the Phoenix and save Kai.
Okay.
Sophia does have something to do. Gonna take 12 rolls, but
Okay.
each day she is going to pray to THEROS, who is a river guide, to try to lead the way. She's using divine intervention.
Okay.
Hopefully she gets it.
I mean, shit.
Go for that. I will say I didn't take something. There's something I didn't take into account, so I have to kind of go back a little bit on what I said before. So I get that the normal like sitting on a ship for 24 hours wouldn't affect them, like the things that would kind of make you almost go mad because they have a place to go to. That said, I do need a wisdom save from everyone for a different reason. And that can be separate while Sophia's. And this is a wisdom save. It's one save for over 12 days. So it's a high check, but because you've got 12 days to be.
Is this a spell or a magical effect?
It is a magical effect, but not a spell.
Okay.
31 for a nat 20.
Okay. And that's for your divine that's for your
No, that's for the wisdom save.
for the wisdom save. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta roll 12.
12 D100s.
Go.
Yeah. It's gonna be a while.
Let's do that. We're gonna
What
we'll
does it-
end on you then.
Never
Was it-
mind, it's not gonna be a while.
Does a dirty 20 do it?
For a dirty 20,
For the wisdom save.
I'll take everybody's before I just share that. Take
I've
everybody's.
got
I got a 6 on the die, so that's a 7.
So the
Ooh.
first roll I got was a 1 on the 10 die
Okay.
and
Which
a
means you're good.
6.
Oh, yeah, which means
Oh,
you're
nice.
just good.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
a 16.
I don't know if that does that work or not. I don't know how D10s work.
Yeah, no,
That's
that
a,
works.
So
That's a
what
16.
what number are you trying to
His
work in
divine,
there?
yeah, he needed to roll under a 17. So,
So
his
yeah,
divine intervention
That
worked
just makes it.
on day one.
Wow.
10 and a 6, 16. Yep.
I
Now,
can't
we
use
get
it
into
for
an argument once we start
7
talking about the
days.
3 zeros, whether
Yeah.
that's 100 or that's
There's
0,
no
which we
argument,
won't
sir.
start. We won't start. We'll wait till after the game.
Zero
There
argument.
is an argument. There is an argument, but even if I don't believe it, there's an argument, but we can talk about that after.
I got a dirty 1 on the wisdom save.
Oof.
That's
I hit a
2
23.
I got a 15.
Versus is good. Sophia's good. Everyone else has started to have at least one nightmare. Fitz, you got a 7. So Fitz, you need to roll D10. What'd you get, Telma?
15.
15. You need to roll D6. Troxys.
Oh, I got a 1. Not
Ooh.
a natural 1, but a 1.
Okay, you're gonna roll a D20. Bart, what'd you get?
I don't
And
like
20.
these numbers.
20. Okay, you're just gonna roll D4.
I don't like
And-
these numbers, sir.
And the number you get is how many nightmares you've had. It's only been 12 days, but you could have multiple over the course of night. That's how many nightmares you've had. And from that, I'm going to tally those, and then I'm going to make you roll on a madness chart for every fail.
What if Galaxies rolls over a 12?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
It's only been 12 days. He been having
you
multiple nightmares a
multiple
day?
dreams.
You have multiple nightmares in one night.
That's wild.
Which is wild because he only sleeps
He-
sleeps 4 hours. So
Right,
I'm
yeah.
at a 17. I rolled a 17.
Okay.
Oh,
So it's like these
Fuck.
back to back. So I'm not going to do this all right now. I'm going to save this for but 17. Let me note that.
Got 4 nightmares.
It might not be. I'm not going to actually use that in 17 rolls, but I'm going to use the numbers to create something for you to roll when we start the next game. Okay, so Troxy's got 17. It'll help me come up with whatever it is that I decide. Tell me.
5.
Or you can just think of it as the level of just like disturbing imagery that he's seeing. And I know Troxys isn't really even sleeping. It's just like someone's bombarding you with just like negative energy, like evil. Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
you see so many minotaurs that you cannot kill.
Yeah, that's like la 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 la. Yeah, the dreams can be whatever you want.
Pull up some woos,
Psychic
what the hell?
damage.
Fitz.
4.
Okay. Okay. And then Bart.
4.
Okay. and then Persis. Oh no, Persis got a 23. I think you're okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good. So you all been dealing with that and like in these weird things and trying to make sense of that. But as we come to the 12th day and all that's like wearing on you, Sophia has rolled a 16. So what is it that I always forget this? What
No, you're fine. She was just praying that Athreos guide their
then-
way to their location. That was on day 1.
Okay.
And for 7 days, I can't use it.
Okay.
So then I rolled,
But you,
or after 7 days,
uh-huh.
I rolled a 00 and a 5. I don't know what the fuck that means.
You got 105 apparently, because people are stupid.
Which
He succeeded again. It's
No.
a 5.
technically he would not get 105 by the way it was rolled. He would have
It was
he would
a
have
5.
he would get a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get
So
Um,
it's just the same thing. It's just she's praying to Athreos to guide their way through this bullshit
yep.
to help.
And so you
them.
can't do it for another
7 days.
Okay.
So
So then
that was on day 9. So I can't do it for 4 more days.
Okay. So for each one, basically, I'm giving you a. So you did it on the. So you didn't fail on the first one. You just that's basically how many tries you get. So then you're gonna roll.
If I succeed the first time, I can't use this ability for 7 days.
But you succeeded on the first one.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
got
I
it.
still can't use it for 7
And
days.
then you
no
succeeded.
matter-
You basically are asking something, and then
Yeah.
it's up to the divinity if it gives it to you, right? Okay. Let me have because you connected both times. 5 on both. 5 and a 16. Can you give me an advantage religion check?
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
So you've already succeeded. What I'm saying is to the level. I'm trying to see to the level I think this is
27.
succeeding. Like, is this a guide? Is this like a thing that happens, or
Uh,
is this something really amazing?
27 religion.
Okay. And so, you pray, and on that 12th day, when everyone is a bit haggard, even going to their kind of safe spaces is, and even I'm sure it's weighing on you to have to constantly cast the spells for everyone to make this okay. So you're probably like, it's weighing on you more than anyone, and praying, hoping that you are getting some type of response. And that is when, on that 12th day, late in that day, which you don't even hard to tell the times, even though you kind of just have to keep track. When all hope kind of seems lost, you see one lantern appear in the darkness. That lantern seems to kind of be far off in the distance, kind of swaying. And you get the feeling that as it moves kind of in the direction of the ship, the fog kind of parts for you, Sophia, to be able to see that it is one of those boatsmen, one of those ferrymen, appearing out of the fog and kind of slowly turning and moving away from you, but almost like being a beacon and a guide. And you can see the slender, almost deathly looking figure just rowing the boat, not on water, but just across nicks, across like steamy streams of wisp come off the boat as where it's like rowing, as though it's rowing in water. And that kind of orange, dull light becomes a beacon. Do you share this? Do you tell Persis to
She would tell immediately, like before Persis walks into her door or comes out, that this is the direction we need to go. And I will tell you if it changes course.
Understood. Yeah, immediate course change to follow.
roll a D4 for me, Persis. 2. You follow that boat for 2 days. And on the second day, at some moment, you start to see boop, blip, 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 more beacons like appearing in the distance. and that mist begins to open. As you can also start to see these kind of trails, although there's water, there's trails going up, there's trails going down, as you realize all of Atherios' boatmen are ferrying in multiple directions, but you're following one, and the one that you're following, you can start to see that now you can kind of see multiple paths, but there's one guiding you. So you realize that Atherios is it's like Sophia and all of you are being shown like a vision of how he's working right now, even without having a river, trying to bring all these strands of THEROS back together. And the one that you've been following suddenly kind of disappears, and instead of where you're looking, just on the horizon is this massive god of Atherios rowing as you're following him towards your destination. And we'll crash to black and end there. Good game. Good stuff.
Oh man.
That was a hell of a session.
Hell of a session. Good
Oh,
stuff.
God,
Way to-
playing
way
a
to-
cleric. Holy shit.
Oh
You've
my
been
god.
pulling out the stops. Good stuff. Yeah.
Ooh, man.
Excited to be back. Sorry we were gone for so long. 2 weeks, we'll pick it back up. I know it's late for some of you. If you got to jump off, I'll hang around for a little bit. I got a little time to unpack. But yeah, that was good. Some good stuff. Really,
Sounds
really...
like you're pulling out the big guns.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Travel in darkness,
I am
bitches.
scared.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, shit.
Yeah. So I know that I always know that whenever I pull out a planeswalker or something, Troy already knows what's going on. At least,
I did not realize till you were like, this is what it looks like. I was like, oh,
no.
I was ready to throw hands. You showed me that. I was like, no, I'm
And
No
and so
hands,
the
please.
nightmares that are coming would be coming from as well.
yeah, nah, yeah, she's not fun, y'all. She's not fun at all.
No.
So good stuff.
Garrick would be a walk in the park of a fight in comparison.
Here's what I want to ask: do you want to? Because Atherios is pretty much leading you where you want to go, and it looks like if you still want to drop off the Acorns, you can, because you can see the path to Melitus. But I kind of felt like ending it just where I did. But like, kind of post credits, you would be able to see that past that horizon where Atherios is leading is this structure. It looks like a world. It's kind of like Halo, how the world, like a planet built in rings, but multiple rings. Imagine if Halo had 7 rings all built down, and you can barely see in the distance the underworld. So are we going to the underworld? Is what
I leave that up to the police. 'Cause I just like my
Underworld,
peace.
let's go.
Yeah, but I think we take the Acroans with us. I like
Nah,
having
they're-
the people
if you
running
want to drop
the
them off,
cannons.
I'll drop them off. I can either drop them off in between sessions, unless you want to do a shopping session. Otherwise, I can kind of drop them off and you can continue on.
We should
have a
try to get
calculus?
some supplies.
If you need supplies, we could also pick up.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Melitus.
We've been using
Yeah,
up
we
food
should-
and wine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I
This
gotta-
was 14 days of
Yeah.
supplies was used.
14 days.
Oof.
That's 12 days plus
I
the
don't-
2. Yeah, 2 before your 14 days.
I don't eat or drink, guys. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm good.
The rest
I'm
of
thinking
us do.
like healing
Yeah.
potions,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. If we're gonna be
Yeah.
doing some big battles, we got 8,000 gold.
And honestly,
Let's-
Meltis is
Oh, yeah.
probably the best place because we can get spell scrolls as well.
Also,
But I'm really torn about getting rid of the people who will run the ballistas for us.
I also
to-
have to preface this. We're going to the underworld. It's not going to be a quick dash and grab. Like
No.
this is-
No,
Mm,
no,
And let's be real, y'all are just fucking humans.
Yeah.
yeah.
This
I'm
could be,
fake.
Oh, y'all.
Be
What's
the
this
the
y'all
final
shit?
arc of the game.
The Acroings and Bart
Uh,
and Bear Clan,
they'll be fine.
Uh,
Trial by
Bear
fire.
Clan-
just normal Joes.
Baron Clan's a little bit more special.
Oh man.
He
So,
hasn't been special in a while, man.
a lot of revelations this episode. Yeah, we've got somebody giving them dreams. We've got somebody giving them nightmares.
The dream
we've
throws me the curveball. Like, who the fuck
Yeah.
is that? You
What the
homebrewing
fuck?
some bit. Who is it? The
You'll
nightmares
find
I
out,
know.
maybe.
The
Fuck
dreams
that
will keep
person.
happening. We'll see. Hopefully, they'll keep leading towards an answer. Yeah.
I tried to do something nice, and Mal was like, "You know what? Fuck that." You see this
And actually,
red goose just stomping on some ants. Like,
what I will counter all your rolls, I will make a roll to counter if you've had like positive dreams and what those. Let's take that into account because that could
Okay.
also reduce if this entity is still trying to bolster your spirit. So I have to take that into account too. So yeah, I just didn't want to try to do all that calculation in game. So figure that out.
But
and
if
we'll
you're
make some-
already a sociopath, does this still affect you the same way?
Double sociopath.
great
Yeah.
restoration, your ass. All right.
Well, I will see y'all in 2 weeks. It's
See you
good to be
2 weeks.
back.
Good to see you, Josh.
Nice seeing you,
It's good
Josh.
playing with you. Sorry, we don't get to kill anything when
Gosh.
you do play, but geez,
That's
like
okay.
I think next game you'll get something. You'll get I had like
Guaranteed.
I had because I always had a random. It just felt so random with everything that was happening. It was like I'm not just gonna throw a random monster. It was
Yeah,
like,
I don't
Space
need to
Minotaur,
fight.
let's
Space
go.
Beast comes and grabs the ship. It just felt
I'm
wrong.
just leaning into the meme at this point. I'm more than happy to just listen to roleplay. I'm all for it.
Man.
Always
'Cause-
coming in right after the big fights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause I did have several
Yeah.
randoms, and I was gonna roll one of the random encounters for the main kind of encounter tonight, unless you guys told me a direction, and then I would choose that encounter off of a direction. That's how I kind of do it to make it like not feel like I'm railroading it. But basically, the way there was by the time we got to almost 2 hours, we were just role playing. So
Mhm.
I did have my final because the only thing encounter I think was going to happen because it was not because it was railroad, but because Scorpion would be tracking you back down. So it would eventually that would be the one that would make sense to happen no matter what, is the Scorpion shows up. So yeah, it was good though. I mean, I don't think I needed to do anything. It was great. You guys had a really, and I gotta continue even for me just listening and learning about where the characters are. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Troy went ham.
Yeah, Troy, you went all
I've
in.
had,
This is
I
this is
had
your
so
episode.
much
This is
damn
your-
time to think about these motherfucking doors.
This was your
I was
episode.
like,
Love it.
This was your
There's
episode.
we worship 3 gods. There's 3 worshipers minus me. but
It's
'cause I'm not
about damn time.
gonna- I'm like, we're doing it, okay?
Yeah, you are the.
I went hard in the book. I was like, all right, I know Perforos is more than just a fucking blacksmith. What else does he do? Oh,
And I had to
everything.
bring back
Everything.
Fitz's because that's that one thing that you all that was that one mission that you all just dropped when the world started going haywire.
Oh my
was
God.
Like, fuck trying
The
to
stinking monster. Yeah, we got the magical arrows and everything.
and they were just like, oh no, we gotta go, which made sense. It was definitely not priority anymore.
Yeah.
But now,
Yeah.
I won't lie. I
maybe-
thought it was Meltus that was being under attack. I was like, well, fuck.
yeah, that,
Mhm.
I thought so too at
No,
first.
he said trees. I was like, Meltus had a tree. That doesn't mean it's in the
I had a
forest. Like,
few.
Yeah.
I had a
Yeah.
few.
Yeah, it
okay?
has
no,
lots
just
of
because it
trees, but it
has
doesn't
trees
have-
in the
yeah.
city doesn't mean that
I like those trees.
defined
Those
by
trees
trees.
are great.
I almost
That's
felt
a
like
city
it was like a
defined by
little
ocean.
a little sand castle built with like vines wrapping around. You get a feeling like it was made out of like trees
Yeah.
and brush and stuff, and and it being like an anthill, it was like nature.
Yes.
This thing
We
was
don't
just-
even know where Satessa is.
Yeah, but Persis
It's
could
out
put
there.
it. And now that you have Atheros, you have guides. So,
That's pretty
Oh, that is the
awesome.
But we just
most
gotta
I've
wait for
nailed fucking
3 more
divine
days or
intervention.
whatever until it comes
Yeah.
back and try to divine intervention again.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
I mean,
It's
we
like
could
next
have
time.
this. Oh, so yeah.
Good
Take care,
night.
Josh.
My
good
guy.
night.
Take care,
Take
man.
care.
Later, brother.
This goose monster could be our epilogue moment where like everything's right in the world except this fucking goose. We have to go get it.
Yes,
True.
that would be that like
Good.
that Guardians of the Galaxy where they were like rushing
I feel
towards it
like-
as it's like coming out. Like
Yes.
after, love it. By the way, like I love that movie. I didn't think this new Guardians of the Galaxy, like I don't know why, but the whole rocket arc got me. Just got me in the feels too many times.
I feel like this would be like our version of Grog Souls search for Vox Machina. Like,
Oh,
we gotta go
okay,
find
yeah.
a fucking red
Search
goose.
for Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah,
go.
search for Bob.
I was only thinking of the Hot Fuzz, where they have the swan that's on the loose that
Oh.
you catch.
Oh yeah.
All right, can you describe it to me? Well,
Not
yeah, it's
bad,
long,
but
white,
before.
slender neck, but it looks like a swan.
Let's see.
I don't think this one's
Stop
gonna